of a YouTuber rite. Last year, I went through something of a YouTuber rite of passage. My video on Abby Sharp, at that point the most popular video on my channel, was struck down without warning. 5 months of research and editing, and at that point half the views on my entire channel gone in an instant. If that wasn't bad enough, my appeal to have the video reinstated was denied almost instantly, leading me to believe that this decision had been automated somehow. Either that, or the superhumans they have working at YouTube can watch a 2-hour video in 30 seconds. My efforts to talk to a human being at Google Help proved equally fruitless, with every question answered by a chatbot with preset responses seemingly triggered by the keywords in my messages and proving to be of no Google Help whatsoever. I was eventually able to get a human being at YouTube to watch the video and have it reinstated, but only after making a Twitter account and kicking up enough of a stink to catch somebody's attention, which, as it turns out, is the most consistent way people can get their videos manually reviewed, so that's good. Now, I do want to pause here and say that I understand why YouTube relies on some form of automation in its moderation. Obviously, you can't have human beings manually review every single video. It would be basically infeasible to do that, as well as highly unethical considering what passes for content nowadays. I get it, but that does come with a laundry list of caveats when the AI has to actually apply nuance to certain situations. Ultimately, somebody has to assign a value to a keyword, and the AI has to act based on that value. There's basically no room for nuance when you rely on an algorithm. It's either black or white. And this got me thinking, who was the person that trained this AI what to look out for? Who assigned the permissible and impermissible values to the words in my script, and how deliberate was it that my video even got clapped? And then I wondered, if AI is this black and white in its thinking based on the training data it was given, and if YouTube was so unprepared to implement it with the budget that they have, how do these concerns extend to AI as a technology? Well, over the last couple of years, AI technology has exploded across the internet, and in doing so, rendered it almost entirely unusable. From AI-generated images dominating art platforms like Etsy or Pinterest, useless Google search results trained by Reddit threads, or even those very same Reddit threads being written by ChatGPT, AI has infiltrated every corner of the internet, flooded it with computer-generated slop, and replaced the need for any human input whatsoever. And nowhere is this rapid onset automation more visible than when it comes to the concept of AI art. Once creative endeavors such as writing, painting, and music creation that previously required a human to, create something, have now been replaced by a software that generates whatever you want based on the click of a button. Now, this isn't to say that human creativity has been entirely done away with, but the ever-increasing tide of AI slop is doing a pretty good job of drowning out actual human creatives. For example, there was some recent controversy surrounding the hit new band, The Velvet Underground. The hit new band, The Velvet Sundown, who Spotify pushed into people's algorithms without it being disclosed that their project relies heavily, if not entirely, on AI generation, a fact that they didn't disclose until after they were caught, having already blown up in Spotify's algorithm because they were able to churn out 3 full-length albums in the span of 1 month. This absurd level of output is endemic to generative AI as a whole, and has resulted in Spotify removing upwards of 75 million AI-generated songs from their platform in the last year alone. And this isn't limited to Spotify either. I recently had to give up on those rant detective playlists that were showing up in everyone's YouTube recommended after it turned out that all of the art in them, as well as the music itself, was AI-generated, which sucks, because we're now no longer able to trust that art was actually created by a human being. Not only that, but now I don't have anything to listen to while I fail to write YouTube videos. I guess it's my own fault for not noticing though. This person was able to churn out even more content than The Velvet Sundown in an even shorter time period. Now, critics of AI-generated content will see those insane numbers as a downside of lazy content generation, the inevitable consequence of art that doesn't require time, energy, or effort. Enthusiasts, on the other hand, will see that end result, the endless tide of content that you're churning out, as a benefit of not having to put as much time, effort, or energy into the stuff that you're making.
If you can't sing, this AI is about to blow your mind. I want you to drug text me, saying you still need me.
art has been democratized. No longer do you need to be constrained by skill or effort to make something. Generative AI, the saving grace of the untalented, can do all of that for you. And if it sounds like I'm being harsh, well, I am, but this is the exact type of thing that enthusiasts will use as an endorsement of AI.
So in this video, I'm going to walk you through step by step on how to create music videos with consistent characters, lip syncing the song with the video, and all you need is just one image. Here, you can upload your own images if you already have one. Or you can generate a brand new image just by describing how you want the singer to look. I'll select the auto select mode and let AI figure out the best model for my image. And click generate and the AI will start generating your video. If you don't like a video and want to regenerate it, simply click on remix. It will automatically reuse the same image and audio for you.
I'm not sorry. For the glow up, for the late nights, for the new me on your feed.
So a common defense of this creative process is that while enthusiasts aren't the ones creating the art, they are the ones supplying the initial concept or prompt that determines the end result. So they're still technically supplying the most important part, which is an interesting argument when you consider the fact that it's A, categorically untrue, and I, not even a bar that they can meet half the time.
And if you're not sure what prompts to write, you can go to the ChatGPT website and write a prompt like this. I'm looking for ideas on building a virtual character who will be singing and performing my songs in all the upcoming music videos. Suggest me 10 different prompts to choose from.
They're essentially the new tech version of the ideas guy, you know, the person that sits back and dreams big but doesn't really have any of the skills to implement it or make it happen themselves, which, as we all know, is a very highly sought after and valued skill set. It's like me saying, what if I made a video that was really good? Yeah, I'll take my millions of dollars now, thanks. But all of this controversy and division surrounding the creativity of AI art is rendered entirely moot once you see how generative AI models actually work. By far the biggest controversy surrounding AI art is the process of teaching it how to create in the first place. Now, I've done the research and melted my brain watching far too many explanations of how this stuff works, but the long and short of it is that for a generative AI model like Stable Diffusion to generate a picture of, let's say, a frog, it has to first know what a frog is, and this is achieved by training it on reference materials. The way that this is done is quite simple if you ignore all the complicated bits. You put your reference picture in alongside a text description, and the image is converted into noise, think something like TV static. Then the next time you ask it for a frog, the algorithm will take a big scoop of that TV static and put together its best approximation of what it thinks a frog looks like, based on the prompt you gave it and whatever pixels it had laying around. The more training materials and reference images you put in, the better the output will be. Key to the idea that AI is capable of creating something unique is the extra step that's been added to guarantee some level of randomness to this whole process. So as each image is converted into noise, the model will also add some of its own noise to the pile. More noise means more stuff to pull from, and this is essentially what is implemented into AI models to guarantee that you don't just get a reference image whenever you put in a prompt, not that it always works out that way. Defenders of AI art generation will say that this is the pivotal step that makes AI content generation a unique, transformative process rather than a complicated plagiarism machine. But that does come with a hell of a lot of caveats and ignores a lot of the more distasteful elements of AI training. While it's true that the output of an AI music generator might sound unique, you can't ignore the simple fact that it's based on a direct rip of someone else's material.
I have this simple, catchy pop song created in Suno using my lyrics in the style of Sabrina Dua Lipa.
And this is why I find it funny when AI enthusiasts try to claim that they've had any original input on their creations whatsoever, to the point that they will desperately protect the prompts that they used, as though that's the key to ownership of whatever they had the machine make for them. Like, I'm sure you gave the computer some really complex stealing instructions, but that doesn't negate the fact that in order to make an artwork based on somebody's style, you have to take their art, identify their style, and cynically crib it for your own gain, often without credit. You copied someone else's homework. You're not an artist, I'm sorry. I remember a few years ago you had to put at least some effort into stealing someone else's art and passing it off as your own, but now you can just do that with the click of a button. AI has literally stolen the jobs of the unemployed. Articles were already being written about this back in 2022, such as this piece by CNN Business that outlines some artists' furious reactions to finding out their work had been used to train generative AI models like DALL-E and Stable Diffusion. Of course, the title fails to disclose that one of the people using these artists' work to train a generative AI model was the article's author. It's kind of hard to see this as a genuine concern for the artist's well-being when you pull a stunt like this, isn't it? These artists are missing out on money and recognition for their works because of me. But looking past that bit of irony, the contents of this article is disheartening. One artist, Tara McPherson, said that she was disappointed by this development and that she had felt taken advantage of. Of course, the article's author, Rachel Metz, doesn't call attention to her own part in training a model using another artist's work without the original artist seeing a single penny. Instead, in typical AI enthusiast fashion, she just highlights how cool it is that she gets to have her own bespoke gallery from a particular artist. Another artist, Daniel Danger, said that he feels his work has been cheapened by generative AI, and looking at how many copies the AI model is able to churn out in a short time, including those created by Rachel Metz herself, it's hard not to agree. And this is hardly limited to these artists, but a fundamental aspect of how AI works. A lot of AI models are trained via data scraping, where programs will dig through the internet and compile massive amounts of text and image data to use as training materials for generative AI models. Some have tried to quality control their contents. For example, an AI dataset released earlier this year named The Common Pile, which was composed entirely of strictly licensed and open domain materials and clocked in at 8 terabytes of training material, which sounds like a lot until you compare it to the dataset that was used to train Stable Diffusion, Lion 5B, which at its peak contained 5.8 billion text-image pairings and amounted to 240 terabytes of data. This makes it a very effective resource for training generative AI programs, but comes with its own set of implications, namely that it's impossible to gather that much material without some of it containing copyrighted or questionable content, as was soon discovered by the Lion 5B team in late 2023, when the training model had to be taken offline due to it containing thousands of images of child abuse material. This indiscriminate training process, combined with the sheer amount of low-effort content it's able to churn out in very little time, has given AI something of a bad reputation, not just as a revolutionary new vehicle for intellectual copyright theft, but also, and I can't stress this enough, for making art that just isn't good. Which raises a question. Why does AI art look like that? You know what I mean. A lot of AI-generated images have that look that immediately gives them away. Shallow scenes without any depth indicated, overly dramatic lighting, lots of Gaussian blur, high contrast, or every person looking too glossy and smooth. Now, each of these things alone isn't proof that an image is AI generated, but when you put them all together, you end up with this weird uncanny valley effect that makes everything look like it's been laminated, or, well, AI generated. For example, this is an AI generated image. No, it isn't. This is an art piece created by a Magic the Gathering artist to promote somebody else's game. But a lot of people, probably including you, couldn't tell the difference, and that's because it's the exact type of digital art that's been picked up by those massive data scraping operations to build AI training models. So it's not that this artwork was generated by AI, but rather that similar artworks have been stolen so frequently that AI is now putting out images with similar stylistic elements. Image. No, it isn't. This is an art piece created by a Magic the Gathering artist to promote somebody else's game. But a lot of people, probably including you.
Okay, gang. Sorry about that. All right, here we go. That should be good, I think. My bad. But yeah, no, I was going to say, I feel like this doesn't really look like AI to me. Right? Does it? Like, it's like the lighting is dramatic, but I feel like AI, the dramatic lighting in AI art a lot of times like it has this like backlit, right? So it's got this kind of backlit glow on like this side of the arm or whatever. But like there's like AI puts that backlighting on everything. Like, everything is lit in this creepy way. Like it doesn't really make sense, you know? Like there's no reason why these people would be lit like this. Why does this dude on the left look like there's a light like directly behind his head? You know, it's like it's lighting up all over the place. It's weird. Like AI figured out like, humans like this. Oh, I can't find it anymore. Oh no, I guess I went the wrong direction. But humans like this dramatic lighting thing, and then it was like, I'll just do that on everything. But this doesn't have that on everything. It's got like a little bit of a glow here. Anyway, I don't know. But yes, we have gang. We have just been watching. Yeah, it's not just the, as Nick Sphere says, it's not just the what? Oh, it's not only the I'm sorry, gang. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to get sorted here. It's not just the lighting that makes that picture creepy. There's a lot of things going on there. Yeah, no, AI art is weird. I don't. Part of me, I am sort of like, I find AI art like kind of cool. You know, if you can separate it from all the bad stuff, and it's destroying the earth, and it's making everybody dumb, and it's what else? Stealing from artists. I do think it's like pretty cool that we figured out how to get computers to make pictures. I think that's like, I remember when like, what was it called? I want to say Wall-E, but no, Dolly. Dolly came out, the first AI art thing that I was ever aware of. I had a blast with that thing. Oh my God. It was cool. Putting up all these, the Muppets do World War II type stuff. Give me 1 second. Guys, so if you're wondering why I'm having a little bit of technical issues with my audio and stuff, it's because I'm streaming on a Saturday, which I've never done before. But thanks so much, y'all, for tuning in. Y'all, I'm so happy to have you here. Sorry, that's offensive, isn't it? Let me just check. My thing working? Yes. Goblin is goblin. Hell yeah. But Goblin Gang, what is up, everyone? How is everyone's end of the year? Merry holidays, one and all. Audio is back. I gots to agree, dog. Hell yeah. This guy sounds cool. Yeah. Yeah, no, AI is, I think, overall, it's been a net negative, maybe, so far. Maybe, like, I don't know, maybe we can use it for some cool stuff. Let's see some people saying they figure out some kind of health stuff. Somebody put their, like, x-rays into ChatGPT and it figured out they had cancer, I think I read. I don't know, that also could be a fake story planted by Sam Altman. I don't know. Fake news, right? But yeah, hope everybody's having a good Christmas time. I wanted to bring whatever. I've been spending it with family, going around. I'm in my old childhood bedroom right now, which has been converted into a sewing room. We got the Yule log, 24/7 Rogers TV going in the back. That nice. You can tell it's a good fireplace because it's like blue. That blue light you only get from a real fire. But yeah. And things have been good. I've been pretty chill. I'm kind of annoyed that all this Epstein stuff came out now. Files, whatever. If they had been leaked a couple weeks ago, I would have had a lot more time to go through them with y'all. And I could have streamed on a regular Sunday, but I'm going to be traveling tomorrow. Or no, I have another Christmas family function tomorrow. I had little dinner meetup with my mom's side of the family, and my uncle gave me a big bag of weed. This is a totally legal thing, so it's okay for me to show this on camera. Isn't this a charming little mason jar bag? Isn't this nice? Look at that. That's 30 grams of marijuana in a nice little Ziploc in the shape of a mason jar. Isn't that so? Martha Stewart, ex Snoop Dogg. Isn't that nice? Anyway. So yeah, having a good Christmas, having a happy holidays. Yeah, the bag is adorable, right, Danny? Yeah. We're all gonna remember Christmas 2025 as a year we all spent the holiday reading about pedophiles. Yeah, no doubt. I've spent basically every free minute I've had this week doing just that. And I got a lot of stuff to go through with you guys today. So I think it'll be cool. Magar, the ecological cost is catastrophic. Yeah, I mean, like now is not really the time to invent a brand new thing that we need to poison all of our waters in order to use. Definitely, we could have picked a better time to invent LLMs. But think of all the jobs the data centers will create. But then don't think about all the jobs that data centers will take away. Don't think about those. Just think about the guy that's got to sweep the, I don't know, hallways in between the servers. I don't really know what a data farm is, but is it just like a bunch of servers? And then somehow that makes the water bad? You put water in the top of it. What a server is it's kind of like a bucket. You put the water in, and then it adds poison to the water, and AI comes out the other side of it. And then they put the water back in the ground or whatever, dump it down the drain, and then it goes back into the water supply because it's all a circle. The water cycle. It's a giant refrigerator with servers in it. Oh, that's pretty much what I just described, isn't it? Yeah. But no, yes, no, I get that it's bad. Yes, the Bitcoin warehouses of yesteryear. There was a period in my life where I was like, I had this really strong itch. I was like, oh shit, I should get a Bitcoin computer. I should buy a computer that just farms Bitcoin all day. And I got pretty severe ADHD. I wasn't able to get my shit together and do that. I would probably be a very different person. I would have money if I had done that. That would be extremely different. The water cools the GPU RAM processing, not so much the memory. Ah, okay. All right. Well, that's cool. Gang, we have been watching this little thing. I just want to shout out this creator here before we move on. Oh, nothing there. Hang on. There we go. Data Mail. Also, great name for a channel. Oh, I'm not subscribed. What the heck? How did I even find? I saw this guy in my subscriptions feed. But yeah, it looks like a new channel. 9.2K subscribers. Doing good stuff. Doing a nice little video essay on AI. I liked it. I thought it was good. Check them out. Go show them some love. It's hard out there. YouTube is hard. YouTube is hard. I don't know. You guys have got YouTube channels going, but man, it's a lot of work. You know, especially at the early phases. So yeah, data mail. If nothing else, you gotta admit, solid pun there. Data mail, like it's kind of, so it's basically sort of like beta mail, but it's data mail. Ah, yes, Trump couldn't have thrown a baby. He doesn't have upper body strength. Ah, yes, that's a good point. I wasn't gonna go into that whole thing, but I probably should. That was a part of the files that got talked about. But all right, enough preamble. All right, let's get into the meat. Let's get into the meaty greedy. Meaty greedy. I don't know what. I hate that I just called it that. That feels simultaneously lame and disgusting. Give me 1 second here. I just got to reconfigure my flux capacitor here. There we go. There we go. Boom, boom. All right, there we go. We got it. Excuse me. All right. I got lots of stuff to go over here today. I want to start with this. So, okay, so first of all, we're talking about the Epstein files. If you're new around here, I talk a lot about Epstein. Epstein's become my kind of ADHD hyperfixation for the last few years. And I wasn't really expecting it to Epstein to become like the number one news story, although I've always wished that it would be, because it's been, if you've been following Epstein from, 2019 or earlier, you've probably shared my frustration. Like, why isn't anyone talking about this? This is the most interesting thing that's ever happened. This should be the biggest story. I'm glad that it's in the news. So I want to talk about the Larry Nassar letter. So we got Danny here. Goblin, you don't think the Nassar suicide farewell letter is real, right? And then MJF saying the Nassar letter has to be real. I'm split on if I think it's real or not. So we've got all three possibilities represented here in the chat. Two of them by Danny. But actually, wait, maybe that would be a good time to do so before I go into like giving my take and everything, maybe now would be a kind of a good time to do it. Sorry, how do I do this? I'm not good with computer. I want to do a poll. There we go. And my question will be, Larry Nassar letter real? And we'll say yes, no, and why don't we also add, I don't know what you're talking about. If you know what I'm talking about, like I'm sure most of you probably know what I'm talking about, you got to pick yes or no. Only say I don't know what you're talking about if I guess I should put a I don't know. Maybe I should just be a yes, no, I don't know. Yeah, okay, fine. It'll be less interesting, but here we go. Start a poll. Did it work? Larry Nassar letter real? Yes, no, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Okay? This is the people's stream. We're gonna find out. We're gonna figure this out. Cause yeah, I mean, I don't know. Hey, you gotta be agnostic. Like until things get 100% proved, one way or the other, the safe thing is to be agnostic. But give me the thing that you're leaning towards. It's very difficult. Yes, and this is what you all should do. I've not reviewed the Nassar letter enough to have an opinion, and will be blindly trusting Mr. Chill Goblin. I think this is where this guy's got the right idea. Now you're getting it. It's too transparently obvious. I feel like people rarely state their intentions with such clarity. That's a good point. So for those of you who don't know what the heck I'm talking about, this was, I think, the craziest drop of all the Epstein files. So we've been getting hundreds of thousands. Apparently there's going to be like millions of these by the time they're done. Like they just uncovered another tranche. Somebody tripped over a box in the FBI basement and was like, oh, look, another million. Literally, they're like another like 800,000 Epstein files. Oops, okay, forgot about these. Well, we'll put them out. Like there's so many. And the craziest one so far has to be this one, the Larry Nassar letter. So I'm going to zoom in here so you can see. Here's the outside of a envelope. Jeffrey Epstein, Manhattan Correctional. It's the address of the prison that Epstein was in, that he died in. You can see it's dated here, 13th of August, 2019. Now, the real Ep heads will know Epstein died on August 10th, 2019. So this was postmarked 3 days after his death. And it's addressed to Larry Nassar. I'm actually not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but it's got to be something like that. Larry Nassar in another prison in Arizona. And it was returned to Epstein because the Larry Nassar is no longer at this address. All right. So far, so good. Excuse me. This is the outside of the letter. here's what it looks like on the inside. Okay, this is what it like. People haven't been talking about this. All right, this is why you tune into the Chill Goblin Ep streams. All right, because I show you the truth. This is where we get to the real heart of the matter. No one wants to tell you that the card that Epstein sent to Larry Nassar was a weird romance thing. This is the outside of it. Okay. No idea what to make of this. I guess this is what you, when you're in prison, you just got to use what's lying around, maybe? Who knows? And now here is the letter. By the way, Larry Nassar, I should mention. So you all know, I hope, who Jeffrey Epstein is. But Larry Nassar hasn't been in the news for a little while. Larry Nassar is this guy. Okay, this motherfucker. And he is another extremely prolific celebrity pedophile who was an Olympic coach. Now, somebody correct me if I get any of this wrong. I believe he was a coach at the Olympics, and or not a coach. Sorry, was he a doctor? Jeez, I should have looked this up. He was like some kind of gymnastics doctor coach, and he would be working with like a lot of children. Because I guess in the gymnastics, a lot of the people at the Olympics are like really young. Medical staff Olympics in Michigan State. Okay, cool. And he would bring in young children, girls, and he would like molest them like in front of their parents. And where their parents were watching, he would do it in a way where the parents couldn't tell that he was like abusing children. Like an incredibly fucked up guy. Simone Biles was one of his victims. One of the greatest athletes ever to live, I think, technically, from like an award standpoint. She's like very good at what she does. But anyway, he affected like, I don't want to say the number because I'm not 100% sure, but I want to say like hundreds. He abused like hundreds of girls at least, maybe more. I'm not sure. But like along with Epstein, probably one of the most prolific pedophiles in like human history. So this guy was in jail at the same time as Epstein, and Epstein wrote him a letter. Or at least that would appear to be what happened. From one pedophile to another, just a fan of his work, writes him this letter. They didn't know each other, as far as we know. They didn't know each other. Hundreds, Danny? Okay, cool. They didn't know each other in real life or anything, but I guess they were kind of kindred spirits. Geez, at least hundreds. Okay. Yeah. Epstein, I'm confident saying Epstein had thousands of victims, but I don't know enough about Nassar. But hundreds is a lot. That's too many, I would say. So here's the inside of the card. We start reading on the right. And here's what it says. Dear LN, as you know by now, I have taken the short route home. Good luck. We shared one thing, our love and caring for young ladies and the hope they'd reach their full potential. Okay. What he's talking about there is called pedophilia. Our president also shares our love of young, nubile girls. When a young beauty walked by, he loved to grab snatch, whereas we ended up snatching grub in the mess halls of the system. Life is unfair. Yours, J. Epstein. Okay. Yeah. Do they have any prior correspondence at all? You know what? That's a great question. I don't think so, but let me be extra sure. Let's try. Larry Nassar. Let's search that in Jmail, Epstein's emails. No results found. That doesn't necessarily mean they didn't know each other, but I don't think so. My understanding is that they are total strangers. And that's sort of how I read this thing is like, if this truly is from Epstein, he wrote, we shared one thing, our love and caring for young ladies. So it's just like, we've got a lot in common, you and I. And I just want to say, who else has that in common is Trump. Now, this is crazy because okay, so remember, it was postmarked on August 13th. Epstein died on August 10th. So that first sentence here, as you know by now, I have taken the short route home. It sort of seems like, are we to take that to mean that Epstein knew, like Epstein did kill himself, and Epstein was like, he knew he was going to do this, and he wrote to Larry Nassar to be like, hey, by the time you read this, I will have taken the short route home, aka to hell. I'm dead. But so that's crazy. That's crazy thing number one. Crazy thing number two, I would say, is him fairly openly saying, I am a pedophile in this, which Epstein didn't really do that. We don't really have him saying that shit. And number three, he also says, by the way, also, Donald Trump, the orange Cheeto in the White House, guess what? He's also a pedophile, just like you and me, Larry Nassar. And then, what's that, 4 things? Yeah, I think. And number 5, we end with a tortured pun that doesn't really work. He loved to grab snatch, whereas we ended up snatching grub in the mess halls of the system. He's like kind of like a teenager, like an angsty punk rock, like, no, mom and dad don't get me. It's part of the system. It's funny to be like a billionaire pedophile, like dude who has been orchestrating world affairs, meeting with leaders of, American government, British government, the British monarchy, Saudi Arabian monarchy, huge business contacts, like fucking Israeli government officials. Like, this guy is so keyed into the system, so powerful. He has so much of a fucking network going on. And he goes to fucking jail for molesting thousands of girls, and he's like, the system, man. We gotta rise up. Fight. Very crazy. So, yeah, so don't worry. I have the signatures to compare this to. And yeah, so like, and some of you are pointing out, yeah, this is a little weird, right? This is like a little bit maybe too good to be true. Why write a postcard without any meaning or consequence? Hey man, I'm dead. Like, yeah, I mean, it has a lot of consequence to us as, people following this story. But what Larry Nassar would get this and be like, what? Okay, man. Who are you? Weird, dude. Was that the best, like, snatching grub? Was that the best ending line you could come up with? Life is unfair. Like, I don't know. I don't really see, like, this. If this letter was written, whoever wrote this letter, whether it was Epstein or somebody else, I think it was more intended for us to read than it was for Larry Nassar, right? Yeah, interesting. He's illiterate. It's another good point. Yeah, I mean, like this, like the handwriting is not always super legible, but are there any spelling errors in this? I don't think there are. Okay, that's something to keep in mind. So we'll get into that. We'll get into this. So this letter came out, and I gotta say, the reporting on this, like the actual, the real journalists out there, the influencers and whoever else, it's been pretty irresponsible, I think, on every side. So here we go. We heard from the Justice Department, the DOJ. Here we go. I got it right here. They said the FBI has confirmed this alleged letter from Jeffrey Epstein to Larry Nassar is fake. And we're like, a little bit weird for them to post this on their Twitter. Like, this seems like they should have maybe done a press conference or something. But no. It was just a tweet. And not only was it just a tweet, it was actually a reply to a fucking pop bass tweet about this. So That's weird. And wait, is Popbase the big one? Oh wait, maybe it is. 2.4 million followers. I thought it was like Pop Crave or something like that. I thought that was the main. Anyway, whatever. Okay, I don't know. Very strange. But that's interesting, Widgie. The line about the president also shares our love of young girls seems almost like trying to make it connect to the birthday letter Trump wrote. Maybe, but Trump doesn't mention young girls in that letter, I don't think. We can take a look at that in a second. But anyway, okay. So let's read through what they said in this weird fucking pop-based reply. This is the fucking Department of Justice. It's like an official account, right? It is, right? Official account of the Justice Department. 2.2 million followers. Yeah. Followed by Pam Bondi. Yeah, this is it. Like, these are the guys. All right. The FBI has confirmed this alleged letter from Jeffrey Epstein to Larry Nassar is fake. The fake letter was received by the jail and flagged for the FBI at the time. The FBI made this conclusion based on the following facts. The writing does not appear to match Jeffrey Epstein's. The letter was postmarked 3 days after Epstein's death out of Northern Virginia when he was jailed in New York. The return address did not list the jail where Epstein was held and did not include his inmate number, which is required for outgoing mail. This fake letter serves as a reminder that just because a document is released by the Department of Justice does not make the allegations or claims within the document factual. Nevertheless, the DOJ will continue to release all material required by law. We have certain things in common, Jeffrey. Interesting, yeah. Well, the thing is, like, I mean, the FBI at least is saying that this letter was sent in 2019. Like, postmarked 2019. The FBI received it at the prison when it was like returned to sender in 2019. So for it to be, if it was a reference to the birthday book, it would have to have been from somebody who had read it before it was public, which would, I guess that would make it more likely to be Jeffrey Epstein. But I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure I see that. But anyway, let's look at this. So I think this is kind of fucking ridiculous that this is where they chose to say this shit. But they do make some good points in here, right? Some points that people have brought up already. And also another person who made up some good points is Julie K. Brown, who is like the number one, definitely one of the best journalists as far as covering the Epstein story. One of the first ones. Like, without Julie K. Brown, none of us would know almost anything about Epstein. Like, it's because of the journalism that she was doing at the Miami Herald that Epstein was even arrested in 2019. Like, she was like the only person looking into it, you know, not the only person, but the most prominent person. Hey, thank you so much for the delicious money food, Magar. Yum, 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 yum. Money's so good. If it's fake, who would have combined incentives to say all these things but not pin the blame for his death? The weirdness suggests legitimacy. That's not a bad point. I mean, I've heard people say, it was Bill Barr's Justice Department because they wanted to be like, he did kill himself. I was like, no, well, why would Bill Barr put that shit in about Trump? Bill Barr's Trump's friend, you know? So yeah, like if it is fake, I think an interesting question is, who faked it then? Who do we think? So we don't know if it was sent from the jail. We'll get into this in a bit. But Julie K. Brown, anyway, so that was my little introduction to her. But she wrote, "This is suspect to me largely because Jeffrey Epstein didn't know how to spell. It doesn't seem to fit with the way he wrote either. Plus, it really looks like a woman's handwriting." Yeah, take a look at this. Take a look at this thing. It does kind of look like a woman's handwriting to me, too. Like, I see what she's saying. But we have a few examples of Epstein's handwriting to compare it to. We've got all these emails to compare, like spelling and everything like that. I think that's worth doing. So I want to go through each of these points. Let's start with the spelling. All right. So I got a few examples of the way that Epstein would type stuff. So his emails here. This is from one of his emails in 2015. You can issue a reward to any of Virginia's friends, acquaintance, family that come forward and help prove her allegations are false. The strongest is the Clinton dinner and the new version in the Virgin Islands that Sven Hawking participated in an underage orgy. So, what, dude? How did you even make these mistakes? That's crazy. This is insane. Acquaintance, like acquaintance, not the easiest word to spell, but like, how did you go that wrong? You know what I'm talking about, right? And so, like, this is how I type a lot of time. Here's his Spotify. Pitbull, correctly spelled. Gospel. It's his gospel. He had a gospel soundtrack. Weird. Very weird. I mean, everybody likes gospel music. You don't got to be Christian to appreciate gospel music, that's for sure. Broadway. Classica. Okay. Not the most careful, speller. And then this is the best. Here's him at Dalton. No, that is his real Spotify. Yeah, that's his real Spotify on his JEE vacation account. Actually is. It's kind of hilarious to go through and look at his terrible music taste. But anyway, here's Epstein when he was young at Dalton, and he was a high school teacher. And look what's written on the board. Epstein. That's his own name. Spelled wrong. This guy spelled it wrong. All right. Ciao. Ciao, Danny. I will. So, okay. Yes, I see what you're saying. When we look at the this letter here, it's spelled quite well. Like I was just saying, like, I don't think there is anything spelled wrong, is there? Let me just quickly skim this over. Yeah, no, this is all right. Did he have somebody proofread this for him? Like, did he do a draft? Show it to a guard and be like, hey, what do you think, man? So I think that is definitely like a good point. But, excuse me, I will say, oh, wait. Oh, hang on. Did I forget to put this in? Yes, I think I did. Uno momento. But I will say, I heard some people talking about this, and I took in what they were saying. I didn't dismiss it right away. That Epstein's poor spelling is really limited only to his emails. Oh, did I not? What the heck? Oh, you know what? Okay, sorry. I forgot the order that I did this in. I guess we'll come back to that, although I feel like I should just do it now. Yeah, I'm just going to do it now. I feel like, the poor spelling was limited only to his emails. So if we look at, here we go. Here's some of his, here's something that he wrote on a chalkboard here. These are all spelled right, I think. It's a little messy. Power, deception, plants, music, dank brain. Okay, maybe not that, but we look at, okay, here we go. Like this one, here's a letter he wrote to one of his girlfriends or something, while he was in prison in, the first time. What would this be, like 2007 or so? I don't know that it says. But he wrote this to, love of my life. I wanted you to know, pulling you by the hand, learning to drive, GED, listening in the pink room, Tesla and movie, made me say it and then didn't, Paris, Dubai, hand in hand snooze, David Copperfield, movie, I love you. Like, all of that is spelled right. And then if you look at his text messages are also spelled correctly. This is, I think, to Bannon. But like, you can look through a lot of his texts, and it's all kind of like this. What are today's dollars? The IRS reviewed the issues. Was using a BlackBerry at the time. Almost all of his emails are sent on an iPad. Maybe he didn't have autocorrect set up. iPads are kind of annoying to type on. Doesn't say where the taxes were paid on that. It says it's $200K in today's dollars. And when he was 8, he had $1 million. Instead, had Fred put $2K in treasuries. Okay, that's a mistake. That's a mistake. Treasuries is spelled wrong. It would be worth $1 million today. All silly. So I mean, yeah, like I do. I think the spelling thing is a good point, but I'm not ready to completely discard that. To let that be the thing that whatever makes me decide this whole thing is fake. You know what I'm saying? I want to give you guys kind of the both sides approach here, right? Like I know that like I am personally biased. I don't like Trump, and I also do think that Epstein probably did kill himself, but he was helped by a lot of outside people who wanted that to happen and communicated with him and provided him an opportunity. Like, this will be good for you and us. Neither of us want you to go to trial on this. Like, that's my theory. I have a couple of, like, I think there's some shady shit going on for sure. I think that some powerful people, there's too much shit went wrong. Guards were asleep for hours. You know, the cameras broke. He was taken off suicide watch. He didn't have a fucking roommate, cellmate. Like, there's a lot of shit in the prison that's incredibly sketchy. But I do personally think that I think Epstein probably did tie the thing around his neck himself. He was also apparently, according to one of his victims, he did talk about if he ever had to kill himself, that would be how he would do it. And he described that exact method. But anyway, let's move on to another point that was made in by the DOJ. There's no inmate ID. So because there's no inmate ID on the letter here, it just says J. Epstein, Manhattan Correctional, NYC, NY 10007. That is the zip code, I guess, of the institute he was at. He wasn't at Manhattan Correctional. It's Metropolitan Correctional was the name of his prison. So actually, that's interesting. That's so either the wrong name as well of the prison. So okay, that's something. But I do think it's kind of rich for the DOJ to say the return address did not list the jail where Epstein was held, did not include his inmate number, which is required for outgoing mail. Now, DOJ, are you trying to tell me that, like, there's no way anyone at the fucking Metropolitan Correctional Institute where Epstein was held would be so incompetent as to let a letter be sent without having the inmate number on it? Because I was sort of done carrying, like, I do not expect the people at this prison to be doing their job. You know what I'm saying? Like, I am not going to be convinced by, oh, yeah, do you think it's a bunch of clowns that work in this place? This is a maximum security prison. All right? They are good at their jobs. They are the best at what they do. They're the best of the best. They are the top gun of prison staff. No, I don't believe that. It's extremely easy for me to believe that somebody fucked up and sent this even though it didn't have the regulation whatever on it. So that one I'm just like, okay, whatever. Like, and I included this. This was a note that was on the guard station right next to Epstein's cell. Mandatory rounds. Somebody like underlined it, question mark. Mandatory? I think I mean mandatory. Anyway, mandatory rounds must be conducted every 30 minutes on Epstein, number 76318-054, as per God. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, exactly. It's like, yeah, whatever. We let a few fucking suicides happen, but the mail, that's where we get real. No, mail fraud is a serious crime. Mail crime, that's real crime. Yeah. So I'm just dismissing that one there about, oh, they didn't properly notate it. Yeah, well. So it's postmarked 3 days after his death. Now, I did a little bit of research on this. Postmarking doesn't mean that was the day that it was sent. That means that it was the day that it was processed by the post office. So it would have to have first gone through, if it was sent from prison, it would have to have first gone through the prison. It wouldn't have been sent, anywhere. But then it would go to, it wouldn't have been sent anywhere. It wouldn't have been stamped at that point. Then it would go to the post office. And then once the post office had it, maybe it goes in their whatever slot, they carry it to the thing, however they get it. I don't know. A mailman gets out of his car and brings it up in a big bag like Santa Claus. I'm not really sure how it works. He gives it to the post office, and eventually they process it, and that's when it gets the stamp. So it's actually not even weird that something like this, if it were sent, let's say on the last day of Epstein's life or a day even or two before that, it wouldn't be weird for it to be stamped 13th of August, right? That wouldn't be unusual at all. But here's something that actually is weird. Here's the envelope it was in. Like, this is like the front of the envelope, I guess, and this is the inside of the envelope. Is that what I'm looking at? I'm not quite sure. Polka dots? I think that's what that's hard to say. Anyway, whatever. This is some aspect of the thing that was sent to Larry Nassar had these polka dots. But here was what is weird about it. Postmarked in North Virginia. Now that is odd. So when we look at the postmark here, this part here, Nova 220, Nova 220, that is a code for a particular post office. Particular Canada post. No, why are you only giving me Canada results? Come on now, post office, North Virginia. Is this it? The post office at Merrifield, VA. So this is the post office, I guess, that would be giving the Nova VA 220. Why? So Epstein's in fucking New York. Nassar's in fucking, where was he again? Arizona? Why the hell would it be postmarked here? This I don't know. This is weird. I'm not an expert. I don't know that much about mail. But I feel like, especially if it's coming out of a prison, like, why would they send it all the way to North Virginia? So, Virginia. So here's a map, right? So for those of you who don't give a fuck about U.S. geography, 99% of the time, I don't travel around the U.S. I don't live in the U.S. I'm Canadian, so that's why I sound like I'm from the U.S. But I didn't really know where Virginia was. So if you're like me, maybe this is helpful. So here's New York on the East Coast, Arizona, all the way over here, down by the Mexican border on the west. And, you could take the 36-hour route directly by car. You could take the 37-hour route directly by car. And you'll see 37-hour road actually does go through Virginia. So, okay, it's on the way, but it's still like several states over. This part doesn't make sense to me. Straight up, I don't get it. I'll look it up if you can't. Sure. Wait, what do you mean? Look up what? Postmarked in Langley? Yeah. Yeah, it's like from the CIA or whatever. Wait, is Langley CIA? Or FBI? People say it was postmarked by FBI. Maybe. I mean, I don't know. Like, apparently it got sent out. It went through Virginia. It went to the address that he had. Larry Nassar wasn't there anymore. And then it got sent back to the Metropolitan Correctional Institute, or Manhattan Correctional Institute, as is written on the thing. And that's when the FBI found it. So they found it, I believe, long after that November, sorry, not November. What was it again? August 13th? But let's get into what they said, because I've got this here. So here's the FBI report. And this wasn't made until 2020. Get that, eh? This is from July 31st, 2020. This is like a fucking year after Epstein's death. This is when the FBI gets a hold of this letter and is like, whoa, okay, hang on. We got to take this shit to a lab. So here's what the FBI wrote. On Wednesday, September 25th, 2019. So that's when they found out about it, I guess. Special agent somebody bleeped out, received a phone call from Bureau of Prison Special Investigative Section SIS Lieutenant LT Tijuana Doctor. That's a guy's name. Tijuana Doctor. I know. I thought the same thing. I was like, that isn't a guy. That isn't the name of a fucking special investigative lieutenant. Tijuana Doctor? No. But apparently it is. It is. The letter was received by the Metropolitan Correctional Center. Yeah, that's what it's called. Not the Manhattan Correctional Center, as Epstein or whoever it was wrote on there. The letter was a return to sender, and the following was written at the top left corner of the letter. J. Epstein, Manhattan Correctional, NYC, NY, 10007. So again, see, that's not what it's called. It's called Metropolitan Correctional Center. Wrong. The letter was postmarked Nova 2020, 13th August 2019. It was addressed to Larry Nassar. We've gone over this. This address is that of another Federal Bureau of Prisons facility. Oh, wait. Okay. So the address that it was sent to in Arizona was another Federal Bureau of Prisons facility. The reason for the return to sender was the addressee was no longer at this address. Okay, we all knew all that already. Excuse me. FBI New York requests the laboratory perform a handwriting analysis. Boy, excuse me, sorry. Comparing the letter received from MCC and the handwriting of Jeffrey Epstein to conclude if the individual who wrote the letter was Epstein or another unknown person. Handwriting samples from Jeffrey Epstein's cell at MCC will be submitted along with the letter in question in 1A envelope 1A65. Persons of interest, Jeffrey Epstein. Deadlines, October 30th, 2020. Trial for this investigation will be starting in early January 2021. The evidence that is submitted to the laboratory for this examination may be needed for trial. It's interesting. This is all during the Trump administration. Even the deadline here, October 30th. They wanted to wrap up this investigation before the trial in January 2021. But this was in October 30th. That would have even been before the election results before we even knew who the next president would be. This is all Trump admin. Evidence. Select from the options below. Physical evidence is being submitted to the laboratory. Please use the evidence card to select the specific evidence items pertaining to this request. And the laboratory should conduct only, I'm only going to read the ones that are checked off. Laboratory should conduct only the exams specified in this request. Note that some exams will preclude other exams in the future. Laboratory should contact the author to discuss exams. If DNA is requested, it wasn't. The evidence, one red rope. That's like a little file folder thing with a red rope around it. L tier special housing unit cell number 220. L tier special housing unit cell number 220. That's Epstein's cell, right? 220 at the L tier. That's weird. Oh, but I guess. Okay, sorry. Okay. So that's what this means. So the evidence they're putting in is not just the Nassar letter. They also included a red rope, like a little filing, forensic. Like when the cops came after Epstein died, they collected a bunch of papers from his cell, put it in a little envelope thing, a red rope they call it, and they were submitting that to be used for handwriting analysis next to the postcard. And that's it. That's all we have. We don't have the FBI, at least from the stuff that we have or the stuff that we've found so far, it doesn't appear that this was ever done. It seems like they found the card. They were like, oh shit, this is going to be a big deal. We should do a handwriting fucking examination on it. They asked for that. They requested a laboratory exam on this shit. And as far as we know, I mean, maybe there's some paper somewhere we haven't found, but you think he would, if there were results to this, why would they not be, wouldn't Trump want you to see it's, my guess is that this was just never done. I just think this was never done. And a lot of times I think stuff might seem conspiratorial in the world. That's actually just laziness and incompetence. Like a lot of conspiracies are based around look, and the police knew about it, but they didn't do anything. This goes all the way to the top. It must be someone telling the police that they got to slack off and not fill out their paperwork correctly, not follow up on the clue, the obvious direction that the evidence points in. It's like, no, actually, cops are stupid and bad at their jobs. Sorry to tell you this. Sorry to be the one to tell you this, but TV lied. Cops are bad, you know. And yeah, the FBI, they're just like cops, basically. They're like cops that wear nicer suits and, you know, have more money to play with. But yeah, so like contemporaneously with this letter being discovered, it seems like, yeah, cops are normal people, in other words. It seems like even the FBI saw this shit and was like, oh, we should do a handwriting analysis on this. So like, I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't know if that means anything. Again, cops are normal people, FBI is normal people. But like, if some of that other stuff, like the North Virginia stamp and whatever, the day, if that really was disqualifying, then why was the FBI still looking into the case? Now, all right, here's where we get into the real noited shit here. Let's get into the handwriting analysis. So on the our old friend Reddit found a few of Epstein's writings. So we've got, this is apparently him. It's Russian. I mean, not Russia. Russian. Apparently it means, what does it mean? Hushaby, don't lie on the edge of the bed. Okay. And, like, it's not cursive, right? It's printed. This really doesn't look like Epstein's writing to me, though. It's on Epstein's letterhead. They can see LSJ at the top there. That's his little St. James, like, letterhead from the island. I mean, I don't know, maybe it is. And if we also look over here, this does look like Epstein's writing to me. So the two things that they're pointing out here is the lightning bolt H. See how the H is kind of written like clack, clack, clack. And the forward slant, like everything's italicized. We look at this, okay, yeah, forward slant. I can kind of see the lightning bolt H here. I mean, it looks a little bit different than this one, though. I don't know. Again, this does not look like Epstein's writing to me. But this down here, like one thing I will say I do think it looks similar is like, see that capital D curve there? Like that's like kind of like an unusual way of writing. And if we look up here, we've got this capital D here. We've got, I thought there was more of that kind of thing. Maybe not. Okay, maybe not. But I mean, that's something. The capital D. I mean, this stuff looks so messy. Okay, that's one. Shout out to, whose is this? Who came up with this? General Knows 69-1. Let's look at this one. Guys, it's a match. Okay, this one. So this one is actually, like I have seen this. This is something that Epstein wrote in jail. Like it would have been around the same time. It says, they've censored out a name here. Somebody kept me in a locked shower stall for 1 hour. What's this? Noit? What's that? What does that say? Work, send me burned food. Giant bugs crawling on my hands? What? Sorry, that's fucked up that that the prisons have these scenarios. I'm having a really hard time reading this. Giant bugs crawling. Does that say on? I don't know. My hands. No fun. No fun. There's no fun being me. I don't know. Now, so they're comparing some of this stuff, right? Like SH, shower, shares. Okay, that's all right. MY. So the way he writes his Y's is interesting. I guess that's what we're saying, that lightning bolt thing. But it's like the Y doesn't like curve around. Like most people don't. Most people kind of do a little slant. His Y just goes straight down. G and G, I don't really see that. The D, okay, but I write D's like that too. That's just kind of a pretty standard cursive D. N, the N has like a double, like he goes down and then up on the left side. I definitely don't write my N's like that. And I'm basing this all on, hey, if I do it, then it must be like extremely common. I think everyone's me, basically. Food, I guess those, yeah, sure. I like it is sort of unusual to do your F's like this, where the line of the F is what attaches to the next letter. That's weird. Bugs, grab, I don't see any similarity there at all. But some of them, I mean, hey, I'm not gonna lie. I see some of these. I'm like, oh, that is an odd way of writing, and it is similar. I'm not a forensic handwriting guy, but yeah, the postcard is perfectly legible. The note is not. That is 100% true. Yeah, that is 100% true. That's a big thing for me. Yeah, no, it's not his. Yeah, what's the story with the note? Is there like a? I remember reading it a while back. I mean, it is just like prisons we shouldn't have them like that. There shouldn't be giant bugs crawling on your hands. But yeah, this is a good point too. Flash Motorworks, like this is a note. I mean, I don't know. Like was this a note meant for him to read? Right? Like it's hard to say. He might have meant to sent it to somebody, or maybe it was like a diary entry or something like that. But yeah, like you do write differently when you're writing to someone that you don't know, or you're writing to be understood, right? If you're writing a note for yourself, or if you're like writing for someone even who knows you well enough to be able to parse your chicken scratch handwriting. Yeah, that's for sure a thing. In fact, I think the next thing I wanted to look at, this is another one. We could really go tinfoil hat here. You could go all day with this stuff. Yeah, it's we could go crazy. Like, so, I think there's some similarities. I think there's some big differences. I think some of the similarities are overstated. He does write his E's like this. Oh, but he didn't write it in when he wrote Epstein. Oh, okay. Oh, he did over here though. See, this Epstein, like if you guys seen Eddington, like a big plot point is that like this way of writing, like a backwards 3, like that's a weird way of writing your letter E's. And here's a bunch of examples of Epstein writing his letter E's like that. But yeah, like that was a big plot point in Epstein, or not Epstein, in Eddington. Is that particular handwriting thing. But yeah, this one got a little Pepe Sylvia, and like this isn't even all of them. There are people who have gone deep on this. And let me just shout out Valen02 and Cosmic Osmo on the Epstein subreddit for their work here. Sincerely, like it took a lot of work to put these together, and I appreciate it. It's hard to find Epstein's writing. Oh, wait. So you're talking about this thing, right? Like, but this does not look like his writing to me. I gotta say. But it's a Russian lullaby. The writing is phonetically Russian, a lullaby. Hushaby, hushaby, don't lie on the edge of the bed. He wrote a Russian lullaby to someone about how they shouldn't fall off the bed. This has been read to mean that someone should be protective in their sleep, which doesn't prove anything, but it's kind of demented. Some have said it's a common thing in Russian intelligence. Really? That's interesting, huh? I'd like to read read more into that. Yeah, so yes, he did in the letter itself, he signs it as you can see here with that 3. This is in the Nassar letter. On the outside of the letter, the part that's, his address, he wrote his E in the normal good way. But yeah, did he? Anyway, whatever. Yeah, it's interesting. 3 Steen. Yeah, Precisely. All right. We're coming to the end. I don't have too much more left to go over here. Here's something though. So let's look at the signatures. I found 3 signatures of his. This is from his will. He signed this in prison. That's what his signature looked like. This is from, what was this from? I don't know, some other government document. This is from that note. Showed you guys earlier that he wrote one of his girlfriends while he was in prison in Palm Beach. In the Palm Beach case. It's kind of like, I guess I can sort of see maybe how this evolved from like a J and an E into just diddly daddly bat. Kind of almost like a figure 8 sort of thing, or like a scribble. It's like, this is how he normally would sign things. This is how he signed the letter. Now, that might not mean anything, right? Like, he doesn't seem to have known Nassar at all. Just someone whose work he admired. It could make sense. He would intentionally write more legibly. Personally, my signature isn't super legible either, but I would sign a letter with my signature, and then maybe I'd write my real name if I needed to underneath. You know, like the letter itself had his thing, but I don't know, like maybe it does seem weird though. I don't know. Like it seems like if he really wanted to be like, this letter hopefully will resurface one day and fuck over Trump's life, why wouldn't he just sign it? Like that would be kind of like a little, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, now, okay. I go back and forth. And like I said, I'm biased. I don't like Trump. Okay. When I first saw this, I was immediately like, this is real. And the more I looked into it, like I try to keep an open mind, right? Like I think this is like a big thing with me, a big thing on my channel. I don't want to be like just fucking like telling you guys what you want to hear or telling you guys what I want you to think. Like I actually am interested in the truth. And when I look at all the evidence, I do find some of it convincing. Some of it I like on both sides. The handwriting thing, like when you zoom in, right, and you look at all these little tiny differences, there are certain things I'm like, yeah, that actually does look like the same thing. But when I zoom out, like this is it, right? Like don't read the individual letters. Just like look at this whole letter here, the giant bugs one. This is like a note paper from his from LSJ. There's like a little bit of like almost cursive on here. But like, just like get like the general vibe, right? Don't look at the trees, look at the forest. You know what I'm saying? Like look at this. Look at the vibe you get from looking at the chalkboard here. And then look at this. Right? Like don't even look at the letters. Look at like I say, like the forest. Right? It looks different, right? Doesn't it? It doesn't look anything like this. Whereas these look like they're from the same guy. All of the stuff that's written by him, except that Russian thing. Honestly, the Russian thing to me, it doesn't look like it. This also looks like somebody else to me. But all the other stuff, like I can see that's the same person. Now, none of this other stuff, I mean, some of this stuff is kind of cursive. But I've never seen a writing by Epstein that's done in cursive like this. Maybe there is one. And you know, when I write cursive, it does look different than when I print my letters, right? So maybe, just maybe we can find, you know what, I'm just remembering actually. We do have some cursive from Epstein from his birthday book. I didn't think to look in this, but at the beginning of it, there's a few things that his friends, like from his old, this is Guillen's writing, by the way. Guillen had this. Guillen's writing is like more round. Totally different from the other one. But there's some writing. Here's his mom, I think. Here's somebody else in his family. But yeah, some of his high school friends included like letters that he had written them. They put them back into this. Oh, wow. Okay, so this actually is. Wait. No. This might be a baby. This might be one of those baby pictures where they're like, from the baby. And they write the baby's name. There's that 3, though. No. Hang on. There's at least some stuff that he wrote in high school. No. Hang on. Guys, this will be worth it. Trust me. Here we go. This is Epstein. Dark as the night, not witty, not bright. As he goes through the halls, people stop and stare to see a Jewish boy with dark, fuzzy hair. Your tutor, Jeff Epstein. Yeah, I mean, that doesn't look the same. I mean, that's high school, but what else do we have? This is not Epstein writing. I think there's a few different things from him. What's this? Is this him? No, this is Ghislaine. Reports of parents. That'll be one of his teachers. Sorry, guys. Yeah, no. Man, this thing was nuts. This book. Wow. Oh, here's another one. This is from him too. Yeah. As she goes through the hall, people stop and stare to see such a pretty girl with long golden hair. He wrote the same poem in everyone's book. He just changed the thing about their hair. I don't see it. I gotta say, I don't see it. I could be wrong, but I think it's a big problem that we don't have any evidence. We don't have any other examples of Epstein writing in this way. Like, am I to believe there's no letter that he wrote to anyone that we could look at, or there's nothing where he would have, if this is what how he writes when he takes his time, like, we don't have any examples of that? Like, that seems odd, right? That seems odd. Hey, happy early New Year to you, Tuj Teeds Bead. Yeah, yes, it's only mature to assume that any smoking gun found in the files will be the implications of serious wrongdoing, nothing explicitly damning. Yeah. I think short of video footage of abuse happening, I'm not expecting. Yeah, I'm not expecting any of that, and I'm not expecting that. But, gang, I don't know. I think if you're looking for the chill goblin opinion, I am still agnostic. Like I said, we don't know. We don't know for sure either way. Like, personally, I actually do think it sounds like him. Julie K. Brown said that's not really how he wrote. He did. Like, it is that grab, snatch, grub. Like, that is sort of his. Like, I can see that being a joke he would make. He doesn't like Trump. I could see him writing this to fuck over Trump. Like, I don't know. The way it's written, I could see it being Epstein, but I think I am definitely leaning towards it being fake. I'd say I'm like 70-30 if I had to put a number to it. I do think it's fake, but I will also say, the way that this was reported is so stupid. Like, everyone's like immediately when it came out, all the liberals and leftists and basically everybody who hates Trump was like, including a lot of conservatives, was like, this is real. This is 100% real. It's been confirmed, blah, 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 blah. And then because that fucking Pop Crave tweet that DOJ popped off, now all of a sudden we've got, oh my God, you guys ready to laugh? Who here likes to laugh? You guys like to laugh, right? All right. Okay. Well, don't say I didn't warn you. Sorry, I don't have this. Here it is. Let's check in on the Dersh. The Alan Dershowitz newsletter. What's going on with Alan Dershowitz? Well, on Christmas Eve, he wrote, Happy Christmas, everyone. He wrote, are the Epstein files, including the fake ones, a new form of McCarthyism? Alan Dershowitz. Now, there's something to be said for just because you were photographed with Epstein, just because you emailed him one time, blah, 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 that doesn't mean you're guilty of anything at all, right? Like, he was just a guy. He was more than just a guy, but to a lot of people, he was just a guy that they met, and they're like, oh, that guy's seems fine, But, so maybe you could make some sort of comparison to McCarthyism, but nah, you shouldn't be Alan Dershowitz. Whoever was going to make this point, it's too late. It's too late to ever make it now because Alan Dershowitz tried to make it. And this move he's doing is based on the Larry Nassar letter. We now know that the alleged suicide letter from Jeffrey Epstein to Larry Nassar is a forgery and a fake. And you can guess where he goes from there. I won't torture you by reading the rest of it. But that isn't true. We don't know that. What do you mean we know it's a forgery and a fake? We don't. The evidence that it's a fake is just that the DOJ said it was a fake. What, do we trust the DOJ? You shouldn't. They didn't present any evidence. They said a bunch of shit that seemed fake. If all that shit was true and the FBI made this conclusion, show us that paperwork. Why haven't we seen that? Why didn't you release that alongside this? None of it makes sense. I don't trust the government at all. You always, whatever your political ideology is, you should take everything that you hear from the government. You should look at it with an anarchist squint. You should be skeptical of authority. You should be skeptical of the motivations and intentions behind any information you get from an authority. And I don't know. You certainly, I don't think, need to believe what the DOJ says without proof. So I've been annoyed by how everyone has been talking about this. People are so wrapped up in their narratives, right? The things that they believe and the stories they tell themselves in their head over and over again. Oh, this is true, this is true, this is true. And then they come upon some new information, and they just are like, oh, it must be that thing I just was thinking about. That was such a weird and vague way to describe what I'm thinking. But you guys get what I mean, right? You guys get it. All right, I'm a little amped up right now. I need to take a puff. Okay. I wanted to go over this actually. So this is something that so Virginia Giuffre, R.I.P. Was one of the most inspirational, coolest people in the whole Epstein saga. She was by far the victim of Epstein who put herself in the firing line the most and was the most fearless, I guess. And she had been through horrific abuse. She was not only abused by Epstein as a young girl, she was in a horrible situation even before she met Epstein, but then Epstein took her in and she became one of Epstein's favorites. She was with him for years, and he would fly her around with him everywhere, and he would traffic her to other powerful men. We've talked about that a lot on this podcast. This is not a podcast, come on. It's a stream, totally different, grandma. You wouldn't get it. And she was out in the press. She was doing interviews with anyone who would take her. She would get interviewed by David Pecker at the Radar Online and the National Enquirer, and he would interview her, and then he would leak information to Roger Stone and Donald Trump and use it for his own political ends. And she would go to the Daily Mail in the UK, which is where a lot of the earliest news stories about Epstein's trafficking shit were coming out, not from anywhere in the US because they wouldn't talk to her. She was going to the UK. She was putting herself on blast, accusing Prince Andrew and shit. And the whole time, everyone was just she's lying. Not everyone, but all of these powerful men, these celebrity lawyers and royal family members and billionaires and world leaders and all of these fucking lizard people have just been saying she's a liar, right? She's lying. She just wants attention, blah, 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 blah. And as the years have gone on, more and more of her story has been confirmed to be true. And I think it's important for us to note when that happens and be like, okay, look at this. Here's another thing that Virginia was right about. Here's another thing that Virginia said that probably sounded crazy, right? But actually turned out to be true. Like, now we have the truth. Like, I do think we should probably, she passed away, unfortunately. She committed suicide is the official story. Personally, I think that is probably what happened, but I don't find that suicide suspicious, but who knows? A lot of people do. Out of respect for her memory and like how important she was for this case being broken at all, I do want to notate this. So she told a story that sounded very strange about her and Joanna Sjoberg, and I've got two little snippets here about it. Ms. Giuffre had alleged Andrew used the puppet. So this is, I actually think this one's better to start with. It was easy to give them the reaction they desired. All I had to do was pretend to be entertained by their lewd gestures. Okay, so I'll just give a little context here. So this is Virginia and another abuse victim, Joanna Sjoberg, were over hanging out with Ghislaine Maxwell. I think it was at Ghislaine Maxwell's house, and Prince Andrew was there. Nance Andrew, no longer Prince. And they had, so all I had to do was pretend to be entertained by their lewd gestures. When Andrew cupped my breast with a doll made in his image, I only giggled away. So it was like she was sitting on Prince Andrew's lap. Sorry, this is confusing. But she was sitting on Prince Andrew's lap, and Prince Andrew had a puppet version of himself, and he put the puppet's hand on Virginia's breast. And then Joanna Sjoberg, the other girl, sat on his other knee. So he had the two girls sitting on his knee. And I believe, Sjoberg testified to this incident in a 2016 deposition in Giuffre's case against Maxwell, saying under oath, I sat on Andrew's lap. They took the puppet's hands and put it on Virginia's breast, and Andrew put his on mine. Okay, it's a little bit confusing, but it's like, I remember like when this came out, when this stuff was originally coming out and how weird it was. And everyone was like, what the fuck? A puppet? A puppet of Prince Andrew? This is so weird. Oh my God, did you hear about the puppet thing? And not that we didn't believe it, but it just was so strange, right? Well, here's a photo of Ghislaine. All right. She's got a cool little, she looks like she's like Dave Chappelle about to do a special in her little jumpsuit. I guess is that like a helicopter suit or something? No parking, helicopter parking only. Very cool, very funny stuff. And then who's this? Who's this in the background? You see that? Who's that? Well, I got a larger picture here. That looks like a horrifying skin doll. Well, we actually know what it is. This is a puppet. This is a puppet of Prince Andrew from the British TV show Spitting Image. So it's a little hard to tell, but I think if you look at the hairline here, so see the hair, it's like dips down, goes up, whatever. What's there? And then look at this one, you can sort of see that little, I don't know. This might not be the full resolution picture, actually, because I remember when I was looking at it before, I felt like I could see the thing more. But this is definitely the same puppet. And lucky you, I got a little video for us to watch. Let's check it. Let's check it out. All right, here we go. Classic British comedy. Let's find out if the Brits, if I'm wrong about them and they actually are good at comedy after all. One sec. Put it up there so you can see my little promo stack. His name on this show, Spitting Image. By the way, so Spitting Image, they use like rubber puppets, and everyone looks like a fucking sleep paralysis demon from, I don't know, from someone who watches too much fucking C-SPAN or whatever the British version of C-SPAN is. Yeah, all right, here we go. Here it is.
Sorry, Mark, can't stop now. Must keep a lady waiting.
Andrew, for heaven's sake, behave yourself.
Sorry, Ma, I've got to go. Doctor's orders.
Doctor's orders?
Yeah, I have to be kissed 3 times a day after meals.
What?
Yeah, otherwise I turn into a frog. Oh, oh.
So, Randy, oops. Randy Andy was his like nickname in the tabloids because he was like photographed on like a boat with like a bunch of like topless girls. He was like a sex tourist. Anyway.
With a different sort of filly.
Different.
Yes, well, more sort of clothed, less sort of...
Roger.
Yes, well, I was just thinking, me being your elder brother and you thinking about tying the old knot, it's about time we had a little chat about the birds and the bees.
There we are.
I feel like they didn't make him fucked up enough. Like, this show's kind of famous for making people look fucked up. But he looks... This caricature is too kind to him, right? The guy looks like worse than this in real life.
What are they exactly?
That's kind of fun.
My close friends call me Randy. I'm a naughty guy.
So wait, what's going on here? Are those real legs? And then like rubber hands and the puppet head? This is weird.
Contraception comes in handy, or I'd have more children than Princess Di. I like to have a lie down wherever I go, 'cause I'm just a prince who can't say no.
Okay.
Oh,
Fergie, Sarah Ferguson, another person who's in the Epstein file.
do get a move on, lurgy, you old slag. It's been well over an hour.
I know, sausage, but I'm putting on my makeup. Right, let's split, okay?
I mean, you look like a shop girl.
Oh, cheers, Andrew.
Randy, you've got to help me.
Listen, Chuck, perhaps you're too old. Time to hand over to another man.
Like next to fucking King or Prince Charles or whatever. Like, he looks like a normal guy.
Younger, more thrusting.
What? Me? No.
Okay, whatever. We don't need to watch the rest of it. Oh, there's only like 10 seconds left. Whatever. Okay. But I did look up. This is the new one in like the current version of the show, Spitting Image. Hang on. I guess I gotta go full screen here.
Peasants! This is Diary of a Professional Eminent Duke and Orator. And, have to say, the old diary was looking a bit empty after Charlie's Christmas invite to the palace got cancelled. No problem. P. Diddy's invited me over.
P. Diddy?
Ah, looks like he's not going to be free now either. There, but for the grace of God. Pour one out for my homie. Honestly, you can't even take female friends across state lines anymore. Now, your butler may have told you I was named in the Epstein files for a massage payment.
Your butler may have told you. That's funny. Okay, yeah, you get the idea. But I do like the updated version of the thing more. But yeah, there it is. There's that fucking puppet in the background there, and that's what fucking Virginia said. There you go. All right, moving on. So, Michael Jackson. All right, Michael Jackson, you may know him from the hit Simpsons episode Happy Birthday, Lisa, or whatever. Maybe it was called Lisa's Birthday. Or you may know him from the Free Willy soundtrack. Or you may know him from the giant pedophile scandal and the harrowing, one of the most harrowing true crime documentaries of all time. What was it called? Finding Neverland. Crazy, so fucked up, such a fucked up documentary. But I will say, great soundtrack, catchy soundtrack. It basically tells like MJ's like whole life story, and they put in a bunch of his songs and stuff. And you're like, oh man, that's a good. Yeah. Sorry, Leaving Neverland. Did I say Finding Neverland? Whoops. It's like a Johnny Depp movie. Anyway, so Michael Jackson. So this is like okay. All right, let's look at the picture first. So this was in the Epstein files, right? And look at this. What is it? We looked at this last week, and I was like, "What is this on the Lolita Express?" It kind of looks like it could be a private jet. But no, I actually think like it. Yeah, some people in the chat were saying, "No, it looks more like a bus." I think that's right. I'm not quite sure, but it's not the Lolita Express. But we've got Bill Clinton, Michael Jackson. Oops. Oh boy. Diana Ross, and 3 blacked out faces, right? So this came out and like it did the rounds right away because a lot of like conservatives were like, "Oh my God, Bill Clinton's just as bad. Oh, look at this guy, he's evil." And I don't know why. Honestly, I don't know why I said it in that voice because I actually do like agree with that. I don't like Bill Clinton, but guess what, gang? Oh wait, why am I opening it up again? I already have it open. Guess what, gang? Wrong. DOJ caught passing off old PR photo as new Epstein evidence. Oh no! So here's the DOJ released photo alongside redacted faces. But then, and Daily Beast citing the Midas touch, which I feel like is not that's not a fucking high quality source. Midas touch are like fucking, I don't know, like all they do is talk about how Donald Trump is a fucking Cheeto, whatever. Like they're like basically like the Democrat, like Fox News, completely like whatever partisan outfit here, and they're like, "How dare you? Those are Michael Jackson's sons and Diana Rossa, not victims, as you're implying." Oh, I guess they're replying to this person who said, here's a picture of Bill Clinton with his arm around Michael Jackson and redacted individuals. Per the Epstein Files Transparency Act, DOJ was specifically instructed only to redact the faces of victims and or minors. Okay, well, I mean, they are minors because it turns out we found out about this from Instagram where somebody posted it. I don't even know. And who commented on it? Real Evan Ross. That's me, not unidentified women. I guess the like caption was like, here's a picture of Bill Clinton and Michael Jackson with unidentified women. And this guy, Evan Ross, is Diana Ross's son. It's like, that's me. And then look, we found this. I say we like I did. I didn't find it. On Getty Images. And so it's a picture of Michael Jackson, William J. Clinton, J. Clinton, right? There's Evan Ross, and there's Diana Ross. Now, how dare you? This is a publicly available photo from an event they attended together. Now, this is a publicly available photo. Obviously, it's on Getty Images. But, like, I'm sorry. Like, this photo, the one that Epstein had, or that was in the Epstein files, assuming it was found on Epstein's property, this is a different photo. Right? Like, it's, yeah, okay, yeah. The blanked out faces, they didn't need to do that. That was just like Diana Ross and Michael Jackson's kids. But it's a different photo. Like, they're looking in a different direction, right? Michael Jackson's looking to the right. Diana Ross's eyes are kind of crazy. And then this is the photo that's public. Like, they're different photos. So it's like, okay, all right, yeah, like it's not on the Lily Express or something, and these aren't victims, but like that is just a thing in the files. They redact basically any woman. There's a guy that was redacted in the Epstein birthday book because his name was Coco Brown. This is a man, but they redacted his name because they're like, oh, it's got to be a lady's name. So like they're not exactly like, they've got like, let's be fair to them. Yeah, they're like part of the fucking neo-fascist administration, but they do have legitimately a lot of work to do. So I have to say, I find this annoying too. I find this, like, you know how like there's a lot of fucking people, like I've said this, and I've seen a ton of people say this, where like they'll be like, the difference between like leftists and like people on the right, or like liberals even and people on the right, is like, yeah, we don't care if Bill Clinton is guilty. Like if there's Bill Clinton's Epstein files, great, like arrest him too. Whereas the Trump guys, they only go one way. They're like, Clinton's the evil one. Trump never did anything wrong. He's a perfect sweet baby angel. Oh, he's just a puppy dog. He doesn't know. He didn't know. He's an innocent little flower. Sorry. I got lost in a character for a second. But here's an example of fucking Midas Touch and Daily Beast, and honestly a lot of people jumping on the grenade for Bill Clinton. And you don't have to do that. They're different photos. So this photo, this is the first time we've seen this photo. Is it notable that a unseen photo of Bill Clinton, Michael Jackson, and Diana Ross and her kids and Michael Jackson's kids? Like, I don't have any photos of those people that aren't public. Like, that's weird that he had that, right? That's weird. So like for like Midas Touch is so fucking like condescending too. This is a publicly available photo from an event. No, it's not. No, it isn't. It's like a different angle of a publicly available photo. So okay, let's look into this a little bit, right? Let's look into this. And I got a shout out from the Chill Goblin Discord. Little fella also in the chat. Mark J. Roa 5PN. Oh wait, you're the same Mark J. 1205 from the Discord, right? I just want to make sure I'm giving credit here for going into this a little bit and getting us some of the what's it called? Okay, that's you. Okay, cool. Well, yes, shout out to Mark for this work here. We've got, so here's the event that this was at. Here's Evan Ross there wearing the same shirt. Evan Ross. What was this? This looks like something that would be offensive. This looks like something you wouldn't be able to do in 2025. I don't know what's happening here. Some kind of We Are the World thing, yeah? Anyway. But and so a lot of people are like, oh yeah, heard this and it's done. You know what? This isn't even really relevant, but I watch so much of this guy's content, Ian Carroll, and I think he's like one of the dumbest people on earth. But I just wanted to show you his take on this. And he's watching Asmongold. Cool guy. Watching Asmongold react to the Michael Jackson photo.
The gang's all here. Oh no! Not you, Michael! Who could have guessed? Wow.
So Asmongold got tricked by the fake photo, which is understandable.
Asmongold got tricked by the fake photo, he says.
But we're about to break this down because this photo is actually not what it appears to be.
What a twist. I don't think this surprised anybody, really. Also, it's very hard to know like who this person is. It's
guys with this Michael Jackson.
Don't really care to listen to Asmongold. But Ian Carroll puts up this one.
The government is doing such a good job distracting you guys with this Michael Jackson photo, but I don't think they were betting on me having the alt take of that exact moment. Here's the photo without the black boxes. Those aren't victims. Those are his kids. Those are his 2 kids and Diana Ross's son. This photo is completely unrelated to the Epstein files, and it is serving as a distraction. Of course, they got ever so lucky that the Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah, I mean, like he's definitely like he's too. He just like believes there's. I think he's genuinely dumb. Like I don't think he's also like kind of fascist a little bit, but I don't know if he's like a fascist in his heart. I think he's just a moron. That's my generous take on him. I don't know that he's. I don't know if he's talking about lizard people, but he talks a lot about the Jews. Like he'll talk about the juice, and he does a lot of the fucking like Nick Fuentes stuff. Constantly see him anytime he finds somebody new involved in anything. He's like, oh, we got to do the early life check, and checks if they're Jewish in the like Wikipedia early life section, and he'll be like, he uses that like dog whistle juice. He's like, he's one of the juice, which is barely a dog whistle. That's just like a slightly different pronunciation of the bigoted thing that you're like trying not to say. But anyway, no, this guy's very, very dumb. But anyway, but I just thought that his take on the Michael Jackson thing was hilarious. So let's just watch.
Epstein dude who takes photos with everyone because he's
Instagram. But let's continue.
We all know this.
No,
Yeah,
I don't
still
care about Asmongold.
And I'm
What do you
serving
think? What do
whatever
you think?
delusional hope that I have that he actually wasn't a weirdo, right?
Well,
Asmongold just said, I've always, I don't even really think Michael Jackson did anything bad. I've always held out hope that he's not a weirdo. And then Ian Carroll's like, well, Asmongold, I have some news.
got a video for you. because Michael Jackson was framed, and I'm going to lay out the evidence, and it connects to Diddy, and it's crazy.
So anyway, I just thought that was hilarious. So he's like, so not only is Ian Carroll like, yeah, this photo is nothing. He's also like, and Michael Jackson was actually fine. He was not a pedophile, and I have the evidence. And he goes through his evidence, bruh. His evidence is he has this big board of stuff. Which, man, I should start doing that. Actually, that's like a much because like I'm always just making Google Docs. But imagine I had like something I could scroll like sideways onto with a black background. I could go in night mode. Yo, honestly, this is like stream inspo for me. But his evidence is that fucking Michael Jackson's bodyguard. Well, first of all, he goes, by the way, the people who were accusing him, they're really just like trying to get ahead in Hollywood. And then it's just like, what? Okay. And then he's like, the FBI didn't find anything weird about him at all. It's like, yeah, it's the FBI. What do you mean? I thought you were a conspiracy guy. What do you mean? And he's like, and finally, look at this. Michael Jackson's bodyguard, okay, who he considered a father, when he finished work for Michael, where did he go work? Where did he get a job next? Here, I'll see if I can find it.
So he wrote that note to Bill when Bill had to retire. And then Michael Jackson started moving through other security teams. He had to hire other security. And just a few years later, he wound up with this guy as his head of security.
Oh.
This guy's name...
Okay, I misunderstood. The different guy was head of security.
...is Fahim Muhammad. And if you don't know, Fahim Muhammad was second on the scene of Michael Jackson's death. Second in the room, only after MJ's doctor. You know, when he was OD'd on substances that he may or may not have administered himself.
Uh-huh.
And Fahim Muhammad shows up. He told the whole story on the stand. But
okay, whatever. Oh wait, I think he's about to say it.
Where else have we seen Fahim Muhammad before?
Where else have we seen Fahim Muhammad? A guy who is...
You've seen Fahim Muhammad in the Diddy files.
Oh, then after he was Michael Jackson's bodyguard, he became Diddy's bodyguard.
Because right after Fahim Muhammad was the head of security during Michael Jackson's mysterious death, he was hired by Diddy.
Like, but yeah, okay. What do you mean? Like, he's a celebrity bodyguard. Why would that be suspicious? Anyway, no, this guy's dumb, and he's I don't even really know why I went into that. I just thought it was kind of funny. He's like, I'm the expert on Epstein. I know everything about Epstein. Blah blah blah. I've read Whitney Webb, her books twice. Okay, and I've constantly seeing that guy get things wrong. I watch so much of his content. It's kind of like a hate watch, I guess. But for him to be like, so like Michael Jackson did nothing wrong, truther, and like like the way he talks about Michael Jackson's accusers, and then he goes right into the Epstein stuff, and like the Epstein accusers, meanwhile, we can trust them for some reason. They definitely weren't trying to get ahead in life, unlike the Michael Jackson ones. They definitely were. It's like, bro, I don't think so, man. Anyway, why did I even get into that? Well, a lot of people, some liberals, some fucking the Fuentes right, the Groyper conspiracy movement, think that this photo is not a big deal. But Mark in the chat pointed out that in the birthday book, which I do have here, there's a section in the assistance section of the birthday book called Who Am I? Who am I indeed? All right, who am I indeed? Before Jeffrey, I was a 22-year-old divorcee working as a hostess in a hotel restaurant. After Jeffrey, I now live in New York City, have traveled to Paris, London, Milan, blah, 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 a bunch of places. I have met Prince Andrew, President Clinton, Sultan of Brunei, Donald Trump, Antonio Verglas, Naomi Campbell, Stephanie Seymour, Peter Brandt, Kevin Spacey, Chris Tucker, Diana Ross, Michael Jackson, yada, 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 yada. All right. So Diana Ross, Michael Jackson are on this list of people that this person met. Now, who was this person? Okay, she was 22 years old when she met Jeffrey. She did all this stuff. Okay, she met Chris Tucker, Kevin Spacey, so she was probably on the Africa flight with Bill Clinton. Blah, 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 blah. Jeffrey, so these are all redacted photos of her. Jeffrey, there are no words to describe how much I appreciate and admire you. We don't have to read this part, actually. But here's a bunch of, and it's like, what else can I say but B-U-T-T? And it's a picture of, I guess, Epstein with his hands down her pants. Thank you. Okay, so here's a picture of her. We've got her hair. Okay, we've got this picture of her. We've got this. This looks like her hair maybe on the sides here. We don't have much of her physical appearance. But who do we know who was on the flight to Africa, who was 22 years old when she met Jeffrey and was an assistant of Jeffrey Epstein's? Because this one is in the assistant section of the book. Well, there is somebody like that. And this is the ninth, the person who has written the Lilo Express, one of the top 9 frequent flyers on the Lolita Express according to Wikispooks.com, and that is Cindy Lopez with 37 flights. Oh, 37. That's pretty big. That's a lot. Not quite as many as the Nadia Marchinkova, another assistant, 125, or Ghislaine Maxwell, 400, or Sarah Kellen, 311, or Jeffrey Epstein himself, 832. I don't know why I started talking like I'm hosting The Price is Right. I guess I'm more talking like I'm hosting Game Changer. It's another game changer. Who can ride on a pedophile plane? Featuring Brennan. I don't know what I'm doing here. Okay. But yes, so she's on this list. All right, Cindy Lopez. Who dat? Right? Well, who indeed? Who indeed is dat? Okay, here she is. Here she is actually at the Edge Billionaires Dinner. Got a photo of her. So that's her on the left, Cindy Lopez. In the middle, that's John Brockman. You've been watching the show, you know him. He's the guy who hosted the Edge Billionaires Dinner. That's where a lot of the photos we're getting of Epstein are from. That's where Epstein networked with a lot of other billionaires and a lot of other academics. That's where he met Matt Groening. Virginia talks about it in her book. So this is like a major networking event for Epstein. And Brockman was like his, I want to say pimp, but that implies a lot of things. But Brockman was like his connector, like not sexually, but he was like, oh, let me help you meet all these fucking scientists and shit. But yeah, and that's Sarah Kellen on the right. That's another one of Epstein's bibbly bap. Yeah, fellow assistant, 2-time birthday letter sender, Sarah Kellen. Yeah, that's Sarah Kellen on the right. That's Cindy Lopez on the left, and here they are together. Now here's the thing: so she's got brown hair here in this picture, right? Or like darker hair anyway. And like when I look at this, I'm like, that looks blonde to me. This one, but now that could be the way the light's hitting it, or like it's too bright. There's some light on it. And when I look at this one, that does not look like blonde hair, does it? Right? That looks like brunette hair. But then when I look at this, I'm like, no, that looks like blonde again. Maybe, but it's black and white, so I don't know. Yeah, you're thinking light. Yeah, yeah, Mark, you're thinking light brown. Yeah, he did meet Matt Groening. Actually, Matt Groening flew on the Lolita Express with Virginia Giuffre, and Virginia gave him a foot massage, and she said that his feet were disgusting. Like really, really poorly taken care of. But he was really nice and he wasn't a creep, I guess, aside from getting a foot massage from a young girl. But he was like, she asked him to draw him some pictures for her family, her like brother and sister, I think. And he did. He drew them like a Bart and Lisa and stuff. Because they all liked it. Anyway, listen, I'm getting off topic. We didn't come here to talk about Matt Groening's feet. All right, I'm going to do a full feet stream next Sunday. It'll be a 6-hour stream all about his feet. I've got photos. I've got multiple witness testimony. Let's find out how gross these feet really are. Just kidding. I'm not going to do that. But we like to have fun around here, folks. We like to have fun around here. We gotta joke. We gotta make jokes, okay, about this stuff. Because otherwise it's too fucked up and it's just sad. Anyway, yeah. So I don't know. Okay, so I was a little bit skeptical at first, but now that I look at it, like, okay, it's brown hair, but I could see it being shiny and like texturally, I do think it looks like this hair. Right? It's kind of bunching up in the same way. It's a little hard to tell. But everything else fits with her, right? Like there's only so many people who rode the Lolita Express that many times, were Epstein's assistant, met Bill Clinton, Kevin Spacey, and whatever. So like she was on the Africa trip. Like it all lines up. Like I think, and she met Epstein when she was 22. Like I think that's her. Kellen was also 22, but don't we have, like, there are photos that Kellen put in her section where I believe we can just actually check it. This one, right? Jeffrey, oh Jeffrey, everyone loves you. Fun in the sun, fun just for fun. Remember, don't forget me soon. Epstein, you rock. You are the best. Okay. Yeah. Like we have this photo. Like this photo exists without the blanked out face. And so we know this is Sarah Kellen. Yeah. Anyway. So yeah, no, I think you got it, Mark. I think you're right. I think this is Cindy Lopez. Now, Cindy Lopez. So she went on the Lolita Express with Clinton. Okay, I guess I don't have the evidence in front of me here, but Mark, correct me if I'm wrong. She rode the Lolita Express with Clinton on the Africa trip. And that was before this. Yeah. So this was April 24th, 2002, when this event took place. So it seems like Clinton met her on this plane trip and then was like, maybe they talked. I have no evidence for this. I'm just completely guessing. Oh, that's right. Okay. So we only have her initials. So it's like whatever, what's her name again? Cindy Lopez, CL. And you're like, who's that? Is that the K-pop star or is that Cindy Lopez? But maybe she met Bill Clinton. Maybe they're talking. Maybe she's like, oh, I love Diana Ross and Michael Jackson so much. They're my favorites. And then months later, in April of that year, 2002, he was like, hey, let me call her up. Hey, what's going on over there? Cindy Lopez. You free April 24th? Yeah. You want to come see? You want to come to a real show and see how we do it? Yeah, we do it over here in the other side of the pedophile elite. chill gang. And she was like, sure, of course. And she went. And maybe she was there when this photo was being taken, slightly, askew. And she took this photo. Right? And then she gave it to Epstein. Or maybe Epstein was there too. Like, I think Epstein might have been there as well. I mean, I don't know, because like it does say, like she's like, before Epstein, I was, my life sucked. After Epstein, I've done this, blah, 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 all this stuff. And it's like, would she include stuff that Epstein wasn't there for? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's Epstein's birthday. Like, if you're writing a letter to your friend, would be like, oh, my life's so much better because of you. Man, I got to meet Michael Jackson. I got to meet fucking Diana. And then he'd be like, no, that was because of me. That was because of Bill Clinton. I mean, I guess he met Bill Clinton because it's like, but that would be weird to include. Anyway, I don't know. Maybe I'm totally reaching here. I have no real reason to think that Epstein was there. But I sort of feel like it would be weird to put that on this thing. Like all of these other things here, brilliant scientists, Prince Andrew, President Clinton, something Brunei, Donald Trump, like, yeah, like Epstein would have been there for all of those. Am I to believe that Diana Ross, Michael Jackson, like, would that be like Epstein has hung out with Michael Jackson? That did happen. Anyways, I do. So I think there's more to this one too. And here's another damning thing, or maybe not damning. Well, it's a little damning. This is from the Epstein's Black Book that was stolen by his butler, Alfredo Rodriguez. And if you ever see somebody's name in the Black Book, if you ever look into the Black Book or whatever, somebody posts something like a screenshot like this, and they have a circle around it, like a hand-drawn circle, that was a circle drawn by Alfredo Rodriguez. And it means, hey, this person either participated in abuse or witnessed it or knew all about it. Like, they are a person of interest in the Epstein investigation. You must talk to them. And look at how he's also annotated the thing here. He's put an arrow pointing to Karen Models. That's Jean-Luc Brunel's modeling agency that he had before it became MC2, which he jointly owned with Epstein. That was a front for human trafficking of young girls. Arrow pointing to that. Arrow pointing to I think that's the New York phone number for Karen Models. Or maybe it's her phone number. I'm not sure. But then down here, there's another arrow. It's her parents' cell phone number. And look at that. And he's underlined parents. So I don't know anything about Cindy Rodriguez's parents, but like, what? Sorry, Rodriguez. Lopez. I'm thinking Alfredo Rodriguez. I don't know anything about her parents, but like, interesting that like he's circled her name and then he's put an arrow pointing at her parents underlined. Like, what is that? What the fuck is that? Yeah. Yeah, I believe, yeah, I mean, he was definitely very involved with it. I thought that he did own it. And there was like a big scandal where he was like sexually assaulting all of his models. There was a 60 Minutes episode about it. But when he formed MC2, he took a lot of his clients over to there. Anyway, interesting stuff. So I mean, yeah, I do think that I think that the way people kind of jumped on this so quickly to be like, actually, this is fine. Like, I think that maybe, is this too harsh? I think maybe this is a little bit of like the lib MAGA kind of instinct, where the same way that with Trump, people would be like, no, it's not true. Well, obviously, and it's just like, well, dude, like, relax. We don't know yet. Like, I think that the way, like, again, like the way that fucking Midas touch, how dare you? I can't get over that. How dare you? Those are Michael Jackson's kids. Those are Michael Jackson's kids. They're the furthest thing from victims of pedophilia. Like, well, okay, maybe. Like, I don't know, man. Not victims, as you're implying. This is a publicly available photo. No, it isn't. Anyway. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so maybe I'm thinking of Ford. So when he left Ford, did he create Karen? Let's look at that. Let's look that up. Karen models. And they do still exist. Crazy that this fucking transparent, like, actually, let me look up Jean-Luc Brunel. Completely transparent human trafficking, like child sex trafficking company still exists, and it gets to continue to operate and be like, no, now we're all about models. Now we just do modeling stuff. It's like the CIA being like, oh no, we are just actually trying to make sure that everybody's being nice, and we don't do coups, and we just basically find out information and we pass it along to the president, and we don't kill anyone either. He gained prominence by leading the international modeling agency Karen Models, founded MC2 Model Management, financing by Jeffrey Epstein. The subject of the 60 Minutes investigation in 1988, Brunel faced allegations of sexual assault spanning 3 decades. Crazy. Yeah, I mean, if you're a French model agency fucking owner, you just get to fucking keep going. Like, that shit can't stop you. It was his thing with Epstein that finally brought him down, and he got arrested and he died in suicide of an apparent died in prison of an apparent suicide. I always forget how to phrase that. I just want to see what his thing was with Karen models. So this was 7-month investigation by CBS, and that was what is it? Where? Ford. So he wasn't. Oh, I can't tell. And then Elite Supermodel. Elite. This is founded by John Casablancas, also, the guy who coined the term supermodel. And this dude straight up was like marrying 16-year-olds. Like, this guy's like an open pedophile. Also the father of Julian Casablancas from The Strokes. Crazy shit. We've gone into him. Anyway, fuck, I can't find it. Where does Karen come in? Former head of Karen Models. So he started as a scout for Karen Models. In 78, he became head of Karen. I don't really know what that means. Head, like, I guess not the owner, but like the CEO or whatever. Anyway, this isn't really that important. Didier, that sort of sounds like something different. If you get what I'm saying. Didier, Jean-Luc Didier Henri Brunel. Okay, that's all I really was looking for there. Okay, moving on, guys. Moving on. What else? Yeah. Oh, okay. We'll go into this. How much more do I have to go? Yeah, okay. I'll go into this. I don't have too much left to say, but this part is interesting. So these are some more documents that were found. Ryan Grimm's got the scoop on this one. New Epstein release reveals FBI was investigating 10 Jeffrey Epstein co-conspirators, including billionaire Les Wexner. And let me just change up how I'm doing this here. Boom and boom. So this is heavily redacted. This is about something to do with Epstein. The subject of this email, co-conspirators. This is an internal FBI email. And we'll read it bottom to the top because that's how emails work. When you get a chance, can you give me an update on the status of the 10 co-conspirators? Do we need blank to head out on blank blank? Sincerely, blank. FBI, New York. All right. Blank does not need to head out. We made contact with blank last night in NY. What should I say instead of blank? Redacted. I gotta say something that's like easy to say. Maybe I should just be like, beep, beep, beep. Would that be annoying? Let me know if this gets annoying. Contact was made with beep, boop, op. Attempts were made to bleep and Brunel. Is confirmed to live in New York, but was away for the holiday weekend. We did not have a good address for bleep, but an attempt was made at a residence in New York. Attempts to Maxwell are being made in Boston today. Will be approached in Florida and in New York, but haven't as of yet. I do not know about Ohio contacting Wexner. Okay, so apparently the FBI was investigating 10 co-conspirators. Okay, let's figure this out, right? 10 co-conspirators. So 10 of them. We've got a few of them seem to live in New York. We've got Ghislaine Maxwell. I'm writing this down, but it's very small. Ghislaine Maxwell. We've got Les Wexner, which the fact that his name isn't redacted is kind of nuts. Like, I feel like they must be closing in on that guy because he hasn't been charged with this shit yet. You know? He hasn't been charged with this shit. So the fact that his name is, they're no longer censoring his name. Like I noticed they stopped censoring Bannon. Like they used to censor Bannon in the emails and shit, and now, ban. Oh, you tried to like. Okay, yeah, that's a difficult game, but it is useful though. Like when you look at the redaction size and you're like, does this name fit in it? Does this name fit? Does this name fit? Elaine Maxwell, Les Wexner, and I think Brunel is there. Jean-Luc Brunel. And then then who else is it? Like there's 10 more, right? So okay, that's 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We've got blank does not need to head out. We made contact with blank last night in New York. Contact was made with blank, blank, blank. Attempts were made to Bleep and Brunel. Blalap is confirmed to live in New York, but was away for the holiday weekend. So, okay, well, one of them lives in New York. New York in 2019. So I'll put that in italics so we don't know who that is. Sorry, if you're on your phone, you probably can't read that shit at all. But I'm just trying to keep track of what we know about these people. Attempts to Maxwell will be made in Boston. Blank will be approached in Florida. Okay, there's another person in Florida in 2019. And I'll put that in italics too. And there's actually another person in New York in 2019. Yeah, I'll put that on another line. All right, so we've got 2 in New York, 1 in Florida, and then Les Wexner in Ohio. Okay, great. So that's pretty good. We've got 3 people for sure, 3 locations, and 4 people we don't know anything about. All right, the next one here, this is also, Ryan Grimm posted this. This is just like a big fucking list of cases that have to do with some legal thing. And everything is, or legal firm, it looks like, Debevoise and Debevoise, however you say that, and Plimpton LLP. Everything's redacted except for one thing. Wexner, Epstein investigation. Russell cleared to participate. Okay, so we got Wexner. So again, they're not censoring Wexner's name. Odd. All right. And now down here. Okay, hang on. Beep. Bap. Okay, so I'm going to paste this in here now. So this is another message between FBI guys. ASC, what's that? I don't know. Blab is requesting an update on the 10 co-conspirators by COB today. Can you tell us how many have successfully been located or interviewed with GJS? I believe the breakdown was 5 in New York, 1 in North Carolina, 1 in Boston, and 3 in Florida. Okay, so we got more locations, gang. Okay, 5 in New York, 1 in North Carolina, 1 in Boston, 3 in Florida. Okay, let's do this one at a time. So we already had 2 in New York. Now, okay, some of these guys might also be New York, right? Like I think Jean-Luc Brunel was in New York. Ghislaine Maxwell was in Boston. Lex Wexner was in Ohio. So we've got New York. They said 5 in New York, right? So let's take this one away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'll put the Florida down here. So here's another New York. Sorry, gang. Is this cool? I love this shit. This shit is fun to me. This is when I start to feel like a fucking detective. And then was it 3 in Florida? 3 in Florida. Okay. At least that's what the first guy said. No, wait, 3 in Florida? Well, that doesn't really quite make sense, does it? 5 in New York, 1 in North Carolina, 1 in Boston, 3 in Florida. Because that doesn't account for Wexner being in Ohio. But okay, I think the response has more stuff. But let's just write down what he wrote. Florida, and then. Oh, I know. Does that make sense? Oh, that does fit, right? 5 in New York, 1 in North Carolina. Oh, North Carolina. Okay, 1 in North Carolina, and one of these is wrong. I'll put. Let's just put this for now. Okay, guys, listen. North Carolina in 2019. All right. So then the response is a correction of the 10 co-conspirators. 3 have been located in Florida and served grand jury subpoenas. 1 in Boston, 1 in New York City. So the Boston one's Ghislaine. 1 in New York City. That might be Brunel. And 1 in CT, Connecticut, were located and served. 4 of the 10 are outstanding with attempts having been made. 1 is a wealthy businessman in Ohio. A lead is being sent to CV. What's that? What's CV, guys? Central Virginia. Central Virginia. Mama. The remaining 3 are currently out of pocket. The team is flying out tonight, tomorrow to various locations in Florida to interview approximately 25 victims. The 1-800 call FBI line is up and running. We received approximately 45 calls. Okay, so this is the one that has more up-to-date information. 3 have been located in Florida. So there were 3 in Florida. Served grand jury subpoenas. So I'll put that they were subpoenaed. Don't quite know how to spell that, but I think it's something like that. 3 Florida was right. 1 Boston, 1 New York City. What's Connecticut? All right. Well, so I'm going to lock. So some of them are going to bold if they're locked in. Glenn Maxwell, bold, locked in. Les Wexner, Ohio, bold, locked in. These guys were all like successfully. Oops, what just happened? These guys were successfully subpoenaed. I'm going to lock them in. Then there's only 1 in New York. Now, I'm not sure if that was Brunel or if that was someone else. I'll put a question mark next to Brunel. But it seems like we didn't have as many. Maybe I'll put a question mark here. Okay, I don't know. And then we've got, shoot, how many is that now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, perfect. That's 10. We've got the North Carolina. Connecticut. Okay, so 1 in Connecticut. Who the fuck was that? And I'll lock that in. Connecticut, 4 of the 10 are outstanding with attempts having been made. Does that work with what I've got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It does. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. So 4 are outstanding. So wait, who's the one I'm missing here? There's either 1 or 2 that I'm missing. 1 in Boston, 1 in New York City, 1 in Connecticut, Ohio. The remaining 3 are out of pocket. Of the 10. Okay, all right. Am I missing a state there, guys? Oh, damn, nice work there. Connecticut could be Eric Gainey, eh? Okay. Yeah, and he's circled in the black book too. Cool. Yeah, let's I think, am I missing someone here? I'm so confused. 3 of them located in Florida. What am I missing? Okay, 3 of them located in Florida. 1 in Boston. Yes, got that. 1 in New York City. Okay, got that. 1 in Connecticut. Yes, got that. That's 6. 4 of the 10 are outstanding, so they don't know where they are. Okay. Did we lock in the North Carolina one? Guess the North Carolina one is still up in the air. I don't know. Maybe he was confusing that with New York or something, or Connecticut maybe. Okay, interesting. So that's all I really know. But I'm gonna write that down here. Connecticut could be. I'll take this out of bold, but Connecticut could be possibly Eric Gainey, circled in the black book. Yeah, that could totally be. I'll look into that. I'll look into that guy. But for now, I think that's all we know about these 10. But if you're looking for another group of guys, there's actually, this isn't even from the fucking Epstein files. This is new. This is from Ghislaine Maxwell's habeas fucking petition. I say as if I know what the hell that means. Look at this. The plaintiff's lawyers representing the complaints had approached the State Department of New York in 2016. What's SDNY? That's New York Police, right? In an effort to promote, or is that the FBI? No, that's FBI. SD, Southern District, New York. In an effort to promote and instigate a criminal prosecution because the SDFL was not happy with the NPA and the plaintiff's lawyers wanted to assist the guy, yada, 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 skipping ahead. There were 4 employee co-conspirators that were not indicted, but named in the non-prosecution agreement, which we have, and referenced in the indictment of Jeffrey Epstein, 19, Crim 490. The petitioner was not. That's Ghislaine. She was not named. Okay, this is the only part I really needed to read. Southern District, that is FBI, right? Okay, cool. All right. Thanks, gang. I appreciate you guys. I like that, like, people who are, like, smarter and more informed than me, like, watch my stream, because, like, it helps me because I get a lot of shit wrong. New evidence reveals that there were 25 men with which the plaintiff lawyers reached secret settlements. Isn't that interesting? 25 men. So these would be people who, and they're all men, so I guess Ghislaine wouldn't be on this list, who reached secret settlements with the plaintiff lawyers, meaning I think that means the lawyers for the Ghislaine Maxwell trial. So that would be Brad Edwards. I don't know. Could they the plaintiff lawyers? What's a plaintiff? What's a plaintiff? Not the prosecutor, right? Like the victim's lawyers. Is it? Or wait, who's the plaintiff? I'm confused. I don't know. No, I don't know. Oh, thanks. Yeah. No, the deep dives are nice for me because I can take my time with it and get stuff out. This stuff I'm out just shooting from the hip, but I don't know. I feel like we've come across some cool stuff on here together as a team. We are Chill Goblin, okay? Chill Goblin is not one guy, but if it was one guy, it would be me, okay? I'm the one getting the AdSense money. But aside from that, though, Chill Goblin is everyone who helps me with these streams. 25 men with which the blah, blah. None of these men have been persecuted, and none has been revealed to petitioner. She would have called them as witnesses had she known. Isn't that interesting? But I don't know why would those people be witnesses for Ghislaine? Anyway, isn't that nuts? 25 men. Who are these people? Do we have a list of those people? Could they come out? Unfortunately, we don't have a fucking any clues. We just know there's 25 men. Now I'll show you in a second what my list is. This is also really odd. Apparently, trial victim Carolyn Andriano's mother signed an affidavit, saying that she was coerced into giving evidence. Having seen Andriano's testimony, I find that hard to believe. This is also from the habeas, what's it called? Petition. Witness Carolyn Adriano was coerced into giving evidence by lawyers to support the government's case in return for money. She revealed the FBI directed her testimony at trial, telling her what she was allowed to say. I mean, okay, I don't know. Because she was one of the, you know what? I think this might be a good time for me to check my frickin' Epstein affiliations spreadsheet. What was it again? Adriano? No, that's not right. What was it? Nope, that's not right. Here it goes. Andriano. So she passed away. Oh, this is so fucking typical Ghislaine to go after someone who has just died. Right? She's going after Virginia as well. But yeah, so she testified against Ghislaine. She was a victim of Epstein's. I guess I don't have any other information there. But was she the one? I'm trying to remember because I read through that whole trial. There was Anushka DeGiorgio. There was an unnamed Jane Doe as well. Anushka was unnamed at the time, but now she's come out and talked about it openly. But I think Carolyn was one of the girls who was forced to wear a schoolgirl outfit, and they made that a part of the case. She was an underage victim of Epstein's. Having a little bit of a hard time remembering. Anyway, I'm not sure, but yeah, but Ghislaine's now saying that the FBI forced her to whatever, like give evidence. Like I don't really know. Mm-hmm. A list of 21 men, including Jess Staley, was involved in the. Come on now, I'll goblin these nuts. Come on now. Oh, you card. But yeah, 21 men. So I have a list. I have a list of just these are the guys that I think. And I'll show you. I feel like I should bring this up. Where's my list? Hang on, where is it? Use accusations. Here we go. Chill Goblins client list. This is the first stream I did. I went over my reasoning in detail of each of these people. But my list is, I think, how many is it? Got a couple duplicates here, but Alan Dershowitz, Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, aka Prince Andrew, Bill Clinton, that's 3, Bill Richardson, 4, Donald Trump, 5, Ehud Barak, 6, George Mitchell, 7, Henry Rozovsky, 8, Jess Staley, 9, Leon Black, 10, Marvin Minsky, 11, Prince Andrew, 12. Oh, I already said him. Stephen Koslin, 12, Thomas Pritzker, 13, David Copperfield, 14, Ghislaine Maxwell, she's a girl, but she would be 15, but let's say we're still 14. Glenn Gentile, 15. Shoot, I lost track. I think we're at 15 now. Glenn Dubin, 16. Harvey Weinstein, 17. Jean-Luc Brunel, 18. Epstein himself, I don't know if we count him, 19. Kimball Musk, that's Elon's brother. Where are we, 20? Jesus, I should have kept a better track of this. Les Wexner, 21. So I think I've got 21 too. I think 21 is my list of people who I think so. Yeah. Right. Yeah, Jess Staley. I had Jess Staley in there, didn't I? Oh, I did. Okay. Yeah, Jess Staley. Charlie Rose, Jack Nicholson. I do consider I think I know some people have been skeptical of Lisa Phillips because she's not white, and most of Epstein's people were white. But there's photos of her at the on the island and shit, on a boat on the island. She's young. Epstein had a thing where he was like, they got to be white, blonde, young. Don't bring me anyone over 18. Don't bring me any fucking non-white, whatever, black people, unless they're exotically beautiful, was his thing. So I think some people have been skeptical, but I mean, she seems legit to me. And the Survivor sisters, the sort of collective of Epstein survivors, they have a kind of systems, from what I understand. I've been told by some people that they as a group they have ways of checking if people are legit or not, and they're there is a kind of a process there, and there are plenty of people who have come forward to be I was a victim of Epstein, and then the other survivor sisters are no, you weren't. They have things that they can ask and be do you know about this? What was this? What was the name of this thing? Sort of thing. Anyway, but yeah, no, I do. I mean, I believe that she was real. Oh, sorry. I guess I misread you. I thought you were saying if we consider Lisa Phillips, if we consider her whatever. But no, you're just saying if we consider as in if we think about it. Sorry, I misread you. But I went on a long tangent there. If we consider her story as a client of Epstein, but I mean, yeah. So I know what you're talking about. There's a photo of Jack Nicholson with Lisa Phillips when she was young, but that's just a photo. We got to be careful about these sort of things. Lisa Phillips, Jack Nicholson. Like, that's all we have. Like, this is a very intense thing to accuse people of. Here it is. So here's Epstein with looks like teenage Lisa Phillips. That's all we have, you know? I mean, I also know Jack Nicholson was, you're saying, I don't know if Epstein ever met Nicholson. Well, do you remember Maria Farmer, another one of Epstein's victims, the first victim of Epstein to go to the FBI, recently vindicated, where the FBI was like, did you talk to us? I don't remember. I don't remember that. Never commented on it ever. People called her a liar, blah, blah, blah. And then just recently, Epstein files release, we got the sheet that says that we got the official like report that the FBI made in like 1996. Oh, is that right? Okay. All right, I didn't know about this. But she said it was an actor, eh? Because I will say there's another connection of Jack Nicholson to Epstein that has to do with Maria Farmer, who's an artist. Maria Farmer, and I bet I could find this on her Wikipedia page. Maybe. So when she was abused by Epstein, it was while she was in Ohio at Les Wexner's mansion. Here it is. Yeah. All right. Yeah. And look at this. It is here. In the summer of 1996, Maria Farmer was commissioned to create 2 artworks for the film sets of As Good as It Gets. At the time, Farmer was living in a small walk-up apartment in Greenwich Village. Epstein offered her more space to create the artwork, blah, 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 blah. So she's working for Epstein. She gets this gig doing paintings for the background of the movie As Good as It Gets, which is a Jack Nicholson movie. A beloved Jack Nicholson movie. I saw it. I didn't like it. I actually thought it sucked. I thought it was really bad. But I don't know. Apparently people think it's good. James L. Brooks. I mean, I like The Simpsons. I like a lot of the stuff he does, to be honest. I hear his new movie, Ella McKay, is fucking confusing garbage. I hear it's really weird and not good. But I thought this was a miss for me. Anyway, who cares? But yes, yeah. Also let Roman Polanski, of course. Yeah, the Roman Polanski famous like underage girl rape, like not even a woman, like I think she was like 14 or something, right? Like she was like young. And that was like, he was convicted. He admitted to it. That's not even, yeah, that's not a thing. Yeah, oh, please do. Yeah. Send it over. I'd be down. You know what? I got a little bit of beer left. Why don't we watch that as we close out the stream? Yeah, shoot it over to me on the Discord. If you didn't already. Hell yeah, Mark. A-list clients exposed. Let's take a look. I think I may have seen this a while ago, but I've been able to dig up. I'm not remembering anything. Oh wait, okay, it's a little longer than you said, Mark. Okay, listen, I've worked in sales. Okay, I was a telemarketer for a while. I know the game. You call up. Hey, can I talk to you about like a new opportunity that might really help your business, bring in new clients? Oh, it'll be in 15 minutes to an hour. No, like it'll be like 15 to 20 minutes. No, it'll be like 3 hours. It'll be at least 3 hours. Just 15 to 20 minutes of your time. Honest mistake. Okay. I feel like you're using sales tactics on me here, bud. All right. But I mean, the thing I'm most interested in, I mean, I've seen the photos, but I didn't remember. I thought I had seen this video. I don't remember her talking about, oh, maybe this is the part where it's her being interviewed.
And another young, blonde Polish model said, I have a friend who owns Island. He's been so wonderful to me. He got me my visa. She just said, let's go for the day. I just said, okay, sure, I'll go with you.
Because I'm curious about where she said, because you mentioned that she said she's talked about this, but she couldn't name the actor. So would that be like around this part?
So I went over to the island, and later on that evening, a young blonde girl knocked on my door and told myself and the other blonde girl that Jeffrey needed a massage.
Yeah, she was out of place as a victim of Epstein. She would have stuck out.
Massage.
Right there? Okay.
Or Jeffrey, actually, she said, Jeffrey is ready for his massage. I just was like, what are you talking about? What massage? The other girl said, oh, well, Jeffrey likes, massages. You have to do it. So, I was trapped on the island. I didn't know where to go. I just, followed the girl into his room to do the massage with this other young girl. And I ended up being abused on that island.
After Phillips was victimized by Epstein, he helped her get a job at Ford Models.
They were trying really hard to get me back into the loop, and I kept saying, no, stop, leave me alone. Like, I don't want anything to do with this man. And then it was like 4 months later, Jeffrey called me, and he was like, I remember on the island that you said your dream was to become a Ford model. He said, I was hanging out with Katie Ford the other day, and I told her about you. And then I was like, what? All of a sudden, I was just like, wow, maybe he is a good guy. Like, he remembered exactly what my big dream was. He was like, she wants to meet you. And I was like, oh, I can just go meet with her? And he was like, yeah. So I'm just thinking, oh, well, maybe feels bad for what he did on the island, And maybe he actually liked me and thought about me in a way. All I cared about was like, oh my gosh, I want to go meet Katie Ford. This is a huge, big deal. Ford Models was the biggest agency in the early 2000s. When I heard that, I was just like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. Like, you're amazing. And so it started shifting in my mind. And of course, he's like reeling me back in, and he got me. I got all dressed up, and I went right over to the Ford modeling agency, and went to Green Street in the gorgeous, iconic office, and went in there and I met Katie Ford. Had a great conversation.
The entire modeling industry, I cannot stress this enough, is basically meant for sex trafficking children and adults as well. Like, that's basically the whole point of it. And along the way, they do some like catwalk stuff and wear some weird clothes and whatever. Shoot some expensive Super Bowl commercials, but at the end of the day, it really is about trafficking women and girls to rich men.
With her, and she says, I love Jeffrey. I remember that. I love Jeffrey, like everybody used to say. And I was like, yeah, me too. And so I got signed to the Ford Model Agency.
On a podcast called Struggle Care, Phillips describes a night where Epstein and Ford basically procured her to an A-list celebrity who she is unable to name due to a
Okay, so here's what you're talking about, A-list celebrity.
Non-disclosure agreement.
I have an NDA with a celebrity, and Jeffrey had told me to go to a party, and I went to that party, and the owner of Ford Models was there with a bunch of models, and the celebrity was all over me, and that celebrity made a beeline towards me, wouldn't leave me that entire night, and I kept like saying, no, get off of me. And then I had talked to the agency owner and some friends, and she was just like, oh yeah, come with me, we're gonna go to a couple parties. And I was like, okay, thinking everything was normal, and I went with her to another party, and then about an hour later, she's like, oh, we're gonna go to another party. And I was like, okay. I was getting tired and stuff, and she takes me to that celebrity's hotel room, and he's got this big suite, and I'm just like, that's the guy.
Celebrity's hotel room, okay.
That wouldn't leave me alone at the restaurant. I'm like, I don't want to be here. She's like, oh, we're just gonna hang out here. And then I went into the bathroom, and when I came out of the bathroom, the women were gone. The agency owner was gone. And I was just like looking around, and I was like trying to grab my bag and leave, and the celebrity.
Oh, that's so fucked. That's a fucking horror movie. Trick this like little girl into going to this thing, like, no, it's a party, and then they all leave. Yo, what?
He came out, and this is the big celebrity, one of the biggest in the world. And I was just like, are you kidding me? Like, I'm now trapped here with this guy who I knew what he wanted because he talked about it the whole time at the restaurant. And after that, I was just like, why would she leave me? I don't know what was going on between Jeffrey, that celebrity, and her, but she left me there knowing I didn't want to be there. And I was assaulted that night.
Now, Phillips is...
Damn, okay, I had definitely not heard that. Holy shit. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of information there, but the one thread I think we could maybe pull is, like, if this is the party that they're at a restaurant, looks like it's at a restaurant, we could find out when and where that party was. We can look on Getty. We can look on other sites for like all of these like kind of celebrity, whatever culture. This is from peterteal.com. That's the name of this website. What the hell? Okay. peterteal.com. But wait, that's all we get? Oh, come on. Okay, but luckily, so at the bottom of, so here's a little trick, guys, if you're doing your little investigative work, if you're being a little gumshoe here, the bottom of Getty Photos has a code, and you can just type that in on Getty and find it. So Getty Images. And let's find out if we can. Let's find out, I mean, well, first of all, we could find out if this is at a restaurant. If it's at a restaurant, that's something. I mean, you know, people go to restaurants all the time, but if it's not at a restaurant, we can count this out as the night she's talking about. But if it is at a restaurant, that's good. And then we can also check, was fucking Katie Ford there? Because she says that at this party was also the whatever. 105015278. Okay, can I remember that? 105015278. I can remember it. Yay. Boom. And look at this. It's the About Schmidt premiere after party at Man Ray. What's Man Ray? Is Man Ray a restaurant? Man Ray, New York. Not the artist. I'm talking about Man Ray, New York. Whitney Museum of American Arts. Oh, no, that's the artist. Man Ray at the Met. Man Ray at the Man Ray Mountain. Okay, this is not it, though. This is all the artists. Man Ray, New York. Is it a restaurant? I'll type in restaurant. Restaurant is closed. Man Ray. New York City. Opened in July 2001. New York branch of the Parisian hit is humming along. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so that would be within the time period they're talking about. Okay, so it is a restaurant. Like I said, that's that's not huge, but that's something. And that's the About Schmidt premiere, eh? Okay, my computer is going real slow. Hang on. I think I might have to log off in a second. But, hey, what's going on, Finland? Finland, my boy. We're looking into the old Jack Nicholson photo. Where was it? Here. So this is at the Man Ray. Oh, where did I had this on Getty? Where did it go? Shoot, did I leave? No, I didn't. Oh. Okay, my computer's going slow. Am I even able to stream right now? Can you guys hear me? Oh man, that's so annoying. I gotta type it in now again. Just freaking had it. 105015278. 105015278. And are there any other photos at this party? Yes, there are. Okay, here we go. About Schmidt. It's another movie I didn't really like. Wow, look at who's a who's who of 2000s guys, right? You got Edward Norton. Is that Catherine Keener? Yeah, Salma Hayek, Dermot Mulroney. Who else is in here? Sandra Oh. There's Nicholson. Favreau, John Favreau. This is him before he started Pod Save America. Oh, he goes into all this in the video? Oh, okay. This looks like all the photos from the thing. I didn't see any Katie Ford there. What's Katie Ford look like again? She's like brown hair. Katie Ford, 2002. That's her name, right? Katie Ford? I think that's her name, isn't it? Hang on. Ford Models Owner 2002. Oh, God. That's not even going to come up, is it? Oh, God. Now they're going model 2002 Ford models, of course. I thought her Kathy or Kate. Wait, that's her in the first pick, really? Ben Chaplin and Joanne Rivera. Or when I searched it. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Katie Ford, eh? And she was the owner, right? I think. That's my understanding. This is her here. To raise their voices against what? Human trafficking. Oh, I hate human trafficking, says owner of world's largest human trafficking. Well, world's largest fucking modeling thing. At Ford, we recruited young girls who, have a dream. This is crazy. We dealt with young women who came and lived with our family, and we protected them. No, you didn't. So the UN thought we would have ideas about how to protect people. Oh, my God. Shocked upon learning there were 40 million people in modern-day slavery who weren't fucking working for her. She knew she had to do something. So we bring them over here, and we don't fucking, we make sure that we, bring them over when they don't have full citizenship, and they're very vulnerable and young and underage children, and we basically use them to fucking do what we need. All right, I don't care for her at all. But, yeah, I don't see her anywhere here. But there might be, there's more pictures. After party at Man Ray. Okay. Okay, that is it. Well, I don't know, gang. That doesn't necessarily mean anything. I might even have the fucking who owned Ford models at that time wrong right now. She became owner in 1994. Okay, so she was. Right. Oh, yeah, daughter of Eileen Ford. Okay, cool. That's what I thought. And I have there's photos of Guylaine and her hanging out in Trump's apartment. So it's like she was a socialite. She would go to parties. So I could definitely see her there. I feel like lots of people want there to be more Epstein Hollywood connections than there really were. Yeah, for sure. There's Woody Allen, but overall, I don't know that there are as many as people like to say. But gang, you know what? Hey, I've talked about it a lot tonight. I talked about what I wanted to talk about. We got into this Jack Nicholson connection, which I think is worthwhile. We didn't get into the, you were mentioning that he bought some art at Brunel's home. That's interesting too. Oh, Brett Ratner, Harvey Weinstein. Great points. Yeah. But Harvey Weinstein also, it seems like he pissed Epstein off. And like he did traffic someone to them. Oh yeah, Spacey and Tucker. Yeah, true. Okay, so there's a bit. There's a bit. There's more than I thought at first glance. But yeah, I think he was much more deeply embedded in politics, finance, and science. Probably, I would say, in that order. But I don't know. Hey, listen. The elite, right? The power elite. The people, the real movers and shakers in the world. Honestly, Hollywood doesn't enter into that as much as people might like to think. But yeah, the 4chan list will be like, we found the Epstein client list. Barack Obama. And then it'll be like Tom Hanks, Oprah Winfrey. And you're like, what? No, I don't think so. But yes, guys, listen, I can't. You please don't get me to go down another rabbit hole because I have too much stuff already that I haven't edited and put out, and just let me save some stuff for next week, okay? All right, I appreciate you guys. And hey, if you're not in the Discord, join the Discord. Listen, we've been going off lately about Epstein stuff, but we've also got other channels that we are not even totally about that. You know, you can be like, oh, I saw this movie. Oh, by the way, here's a fun song I like. Oh, here's another conspiracy that doesn't have to do with Epstein that I thought was cool. Oh, do you guys like to do drugs? You know, stuff like whatever. Like, conversation topics. Gang, I feel like I've been saying goodbye for 15 minutes, and now it's time to say goodbye. So thank you for watching. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. I hope you guys are with family, or I hope you guys are with friends, or, chosen family. Or if you're alone, hope you're safe, hope you're comfortable, hope you're in from the cold. If it's not cold where you are, I just hope you're having a good time. And you know what? 2026. I really mean this. 2026. That's going to be the year. That's going to be your year. All right? Don't let me down. Don't let me down, Goblin Gang. Joe Goblin out.